Hello, everyone. Welcome to WoodYaTalk. I am not Woody. I am Scott. Woody is here. I'm just going to start it to get things going here. It's episode whatever it is, because it's been forever since we've done one, so here we go. It's going to be a bit of catch-up today with Woody. Woody is here. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing really good. Got a new mic and everything. I'm just raring to go.
Awesome.
Sounds
And
better.
of course, he does sound better. Of course, as you hear there, Bomber as well. We can't do this without Bomber naturally. We're going to have a lot of information upcoming and recap and things here and there. So, of course, the man himself's got to be here for that. How you doing, Bomber?
I guess so. Yeah, doing good. Just got done eating a which sandwich, by the way. So
Which?
Yeah.
Not sponsor. Should be sponsor.
yeah, should be. I'm nice and full and ready to talk some JRPL.
Cool. Well, let's start with that right away then, because it's been a while, and we like to recap the event that just happened. That won't happen. We like to recap maybe an event prior to that. That won't happen. And look forward. That will happen. The reason is the timing. Extreme Rules just happened. The write-up is coming. Most people know the results, like who won, but not the hows and whys and stuff. So that's not there yet. So we'll discuss it a little bit. And I think it's literally been like 6 or 7 shows since the last WoodYaTalk. I think we've done one since WrestleMania.
I think it's been Money in the Bank was our last one. Yeah.
It might have been that, yeah. And there's been so many shows. There is a gap between now and the TakeOver SummerSlam weekend. It's literally like 3 or 4 weeks. It's almost a month. So that's crazy compared to what it's been. So we're not going to go through like, here's what the results were. We'll touch on stuff here and there. We're going to use the power rankings for that. That's where we're going to get to for that part of it. But in the grand scheme of things, the better way to do that is just to do the state of the JRPL, and that's what Bomber is going to do here.
Mhm.
I have no idea what he has planned. Woody, I don't think has any idea what he has planned. Hopefully, Bomber knows what he has planned, but we'll find out. So, well, let's see. So let's take it away.
All right. Well, yeah. I'm hoping we can get another episode out, but right before SummerSlam. That way, like the stuff that we don't go in on the details on the stories and stuff on this episode, we'll be able to go into like almost a preview for SummerSlam. Hopefully on our next episode. Hopefully we can get one in before SummerSlam.
That'll be once we're more in line with where the heck we are.
Yeah.
With the results of this, and as the card fills out, because I think there's officially 2 matches set for SummerSlam. But technically, there's one match, and it's the final.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing else on the events page, and there's the takeover before that. So that's why we're not going to deal with that yet.
Yeah, but yeah, hopefully we'll get that on the next episode. So anyway, okay, so JRPL, the state of the JRPL. I posted just like I did last year, or maybe it might have been early in 2018, maybe late 2017. I posted like a little survey having people just give their feedback on the JRPL, talk about what they like, what they don't like, improvements they like to see, that kind of stuff. So I did it again earlier, 2 or 3 months ago, I guess. I posted one, and we got a decent amount of responses. I was hoping for more, but we got just over 30. So, I mean, that's a good, I guess, a pool, I should say, of votes and comments. So I guess we're going to talk about that, and Woody and Scott are going to jump in whenever they have any questions. I hope we answer everything for you guys listening here, and I hope we cover everything. If not, hit us up in the comment section, and I'll get in there and try to answer any other questions that you do have about because the things that I'm about to say, I already know will rub people the wrong way. I already know that, and I'm not intentionally trying to do that, but things are... And I kind of warned Woody and Scott before we did this a little while back, not recently, but that things are going to be said in here that people aren't going to like. So just keep that in mind, and I understand. And if you have a question, hit us up in the comments.
And I'll even say before you get to that, because I don't know any content of it, but it's going to happen when you've got this many people with this many things, and someone has to decide things. You're going to make some people happy and some people won't. Yeah. It's not ever spiteful to anybody. I'm presuming.
Oh, of course. No.
If you do something that makes someone else like, oh, that doesn't work well for me. Well, yeah, but if we flipped it, it wouldn't work well for them. So it's got to be something. So.
Yep. And also, just a shout out, if you are a member of our Patreon and you get to see the dirt sheets, you can watch this. I did a full breakdown already of these stats in all 30 I think we got 31 replies is what we got on here. We got 31 answers to this poll or survey. I broke it all down and showed every answer on there. You can't see who submitted what, by the way, obviously. So it's anonymous. But I broke it all down. So if you're really wanting to see every detail, go check support on Patreon. You'll get to see the full video there. It's like an hour long. I go into super detail on it and give a lot of in-depth opinions. Here, I'm just going to do an overall broader summary of just the state of the JRPL. So I guess we'll just run down some of the questions. The very first question was super simple. Are you currently enjoying your time taking part in the JRPL? This was a standard, very satisfied, neither satisfied or, and then it went down to very dissatisfied. I was extremely happy with the results on this one. Especially as much as I, try to do the best I can. There were no votes for dissatisfied or very dissatisfied. None at all. So that's good. Only 3 in the middle, meaning they're not satisfied or dissatisfied. And as I looked through the details, those people were they're not as interested in wrestling anymore, and they're probably going to stop doing the JRPL, which I can probably guess who those 3 people were.
Yeah, I got a question right off the bat for you. How many responses did you get overall?
31. There were 31 total people that answered the survey.
And we generally have how many people picking on a show?
We average around 64, 65 people per show.
So there's your halfway kind of meter there. That's what I was thinking. Because some people might not be satisfied, but they might not take the survey either.
Oh, that's 100% true. Yeah,
I just want to kind of throw that out there too.
Yeah, this is a lot of the people who probably didn't vote. Obviously, are the people that aren't on the Discord. There's a lot of members that are only on Twitter or only follow us through our YouTube videos and listen to our podcast and stuff, and that's totally fine. You don't have to be super engaged like everybody does.
Yeah, and to those people who do see this getting posted on Twitter and follow it there, hey, check out the Discord, check out all that stuff.
So overwhelmingly, it was 58% was very satisfied, which is the top response, 32% satisfied, and only 9% neither or dissatisfied, and the rest were zeros. So to me, overall, I'm glad everybody is enjoying their time taking part in the JRPL. What are your guys? You don't have to tell me exactly what you guys answered, but what are your guys' opinions on that? What are you really? Are you enjoying your time? Have you changed your mind after you did vote on this survey? What are you guys feeling so far with the JRPL?
Well, myself, I think I put very satisfied. To be fair, I was on a pretty good run with an awesome story, so I mean that helps. And I'll be honest, when there's times when things aren't going my way and it's shitty, it's like, man, everything sucks. I don't have the drive to do it, but hey, it happens. And you just kind of push forward and figure things out, or take a step back. But for the most part, I put very satisfied, definitely, because I try to make stuff work. Like if stuff doesn't go according to plan. Like the best example is I gave you a write-up with like 8 options and you went with the 9th I hadn't figured. I'm like, oh, okay, what do I do with that? Still fun. So it's that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I'm pretty much always on board, even if I'm down about it. Well, the only way to turn it around is to try. So
that's true. What about you, Woody? What are your overall thoughts right now?
Well, I wouldn't be here if I didn't enjoy myself. I think I put very satisfied. Besides doing the whole prediction thing, I've met some of my closest friends on here. We've actually go and do things and all that, and then the story stuff on the character chat and Discord is all fun. Overall, it's a really, really good time.
Okay, all right.
You hear that? We're some of his closest friends. He didn't mean us. He didn't.
Yeah, I know. We know he's talking about Warden and Beer Me. That's totally fine. Yeah. No, that is
but I agree with that too. Like the community is fucking great.
There's obviously some oddballs, including myself, from time to time. I will admit, as we go through this, you will find out that I am not everybody's. I am not. People don't love me. Let's just say that. You'll find that as we get through the survey.
Right, someone's got to make those decisions, and
sure.
Like I said, you end up being the bad guy with it. I often go into the Discord sometimes. I'm like, guys, shut up about this, and they get on me for it, and I'm like, just calm down. Sometimes, and I know I get shit for that too, but.
Yeah, so
you can't please everyone.
That is very true. That is very true. And as we go on, it's basically, it says if you didn't pick very satisfied or dissatisfied, or if you didn't pick very satisfied or satisfied, please let me know like why you're not enjoying. And that's pretty much useless because most people did pick they're satisfied. So we'll skip that one.
Not to out anybody, but did anybody put anything in there for why they were dissatisfied?
Yes, there were some people, the people that put in the middle. Somebody said here, I'll read one of these: burnout from wrestling in general, lack of long-term feuds being done in the JRPL. Okay, so that's a good comment there.
That's fair, yeah.
Matches feel like one-offs. Okay, so whoever that was, fair points on some of that. I mean, some people are not involved in long-term feuds at the moment. We definitely have long-term feuds going, I would say, but I can definitely feel...
Woody and I'm sure we can both speak to that, where it doesn't just happen for you. It can, like the stuff we did with Cross and stuff like that.
Yep.
But you've got to kind of push out there, here's what I'd like to do. And I'll be the bad guy for you, Bomber. Just because you have the idea doesn't mean you're going to get it. It's got to work. It's got to make sense. It's
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think there's been anything like, it took some convincing for the Redhead story with you to get on board with it. But then you're like, no, this is fucking great. You got to put your own stories out there too. But they've got to make sense, and they can't be like, all right, and the payoff here, it's like that's either too quick or too far. I've seen stuff like that. So.
I want to know what both of you guys think about this comment. It's another one that's in the same section. This must have been somebody that put in the middle. Some folks are here event after event and end up on the undercard more than they should. If a person puts in time, they should be a main card guy or gal. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Again, these are all anonymous. There's no, I don't know who put these in, but what are your guys' thoughts on that? I guess, Scott, you want to answer first?
There was nothing in there about whether or not you're successful or not, just that you show up, right?
Yes, it just said.
I think that's kind of telling. Like, to me, you've got to also win, and we actually went through that before I ended up in the tournament. You even said like you're going to be on the undercard for a bit, and I'm like, that's fair. I've been losing.
Oh, 100%.
It sucks, but yeah. Then I wasn't happy, but I fucking lost. You're not if you lose, you don't get pushed. There's nothing in there about whether or not you're successful or not just because you show up. Just because you show up doesn't mean you get booked. Now, to devil's advocate myself, it kind of does, because it means you're reliable and you're going to be there. So that is good.
That helps.
But that's a huge factor. But I know Woody, like we're I think the three of us are some of the 7. Someone did a graphic of it that have been there since day one.
Oh, there's only
and not missed a show.
Yeah, we're only up to 7 now. Interesting.
Yeah, I think there's only 7 of us.
Down to 7.
And like sometimes that literally led to a storyline where Lee and I were pissed off because Bomber never gave us a title shot. We were legit like, what the fuck do we got to do? That was legit. And we gave you heck on it on the podcast before recording. So he was like, what do we got to do? You go from there. You turn into a thing. But sometimes it just doesn't happen. It's not everybody gets pleased for it. It's a wrestling mentality people have today where it's like, this person should get a shot. Well, no, just because you want one doesn't mean you get one. But we'll try to make it work at the same time. I know that's the balancing act you've got. And when there's this many shows, yeah, that might be one-off matches, but hey, everyone's going to get a chance too. So.
And I'll say this, also just from my standpoint, booking, when you have 60 plus people on a show and a main card only has 10 matches, that is incredibly difficult to, juggle that many people getting on the main card. And some people, as you'll see, there's answers with, on this survey, like extend more, put more matches on the main card. And I guess I'll talk more into that detail later, but I don't think that's a good solution. Yeah.
Before I go further and steal more time from you, Woody, I'll just say to that, people, I know it's a wrestling mentality of like the kickoff matters and is important, but a lot of people look at it as if you're not on the main card, you're on the main card. It doesn't matter. That's why you just got to make it matter. Sure. Like even my stupid match with Fart Bucket, I still tried to make a little thing out of it with a paragraph.
Yeah.
Like you don't get the main show every time. I honestly have been on the main card a lot lately, but I've been successful. Hey, look at that. It's holy shit.
This kind of relates somewhat to you, Woody. Beer Me Jesus currently is, he's been having a really bad stretch with the solution. Well, just in general, I guess. And he started finding himself on the undercard. He's got one of the best records. He's one of the best like point getters and everything. He's He has a historic title run with the tag team titles, but when you just constantly lose, it happens to everybody. I mean, but when you constantly lose, you're going to start losing those main card matches. And myself, I wasn't even on the main card for Extreme Rules. I was on the undercard. So there you go. But what are your thoughts about this comment, Woody?
Well, it's really something, because you can like, I think Scott's a testament to this, that you can make nothing out of something. Like I think you got voted what was it, the promo thing of the year last
Yeah, I got
year,
Trash
like
Talker.
kayfabe. Yeah, and that was because, like, you did all this thing with the kayfabe stuff and the Canadian Championship. You created that and you made that into something.
Sure.
So just like, I don't know where I'm getting with this, but like,
basically you create your own. You create your own, like, destiny almost, kind of. You come up with stories.
Unlike Vince, he won't. Bomber's not going to punish you if you come up with your own stuff.
Yeah,
he'll celebrate. Like, cool, you're doing the work for me. Awesome. Like that's a great thing. I think the one thing people forget, though, is it's legit wins and losses. Like, so you're getting actual MMA UFC style booking,
for
where
the most
if
part,
Jeremy
yes.
loses 5 times in a row, he's going to drop down a bit and get maybe like a top 10 opponent gets lowered, like a chance in here. That's the legit aspect of it. Just because it's Jeremy doesn't mean he's always at the top. At the same time, he gets kind of up there too. I'm just throwing the name out there for that, but there's legit wins and losses. It's just because you're supposed to win in the story, that doesn't mean you actually do. So that's the one X factor in it.
And if you lose a lot, you can always make a story out of it, and then hopefully bounce back from it.
Oh yeah, I mean, Modstep's the best example of that, to leave and come back, right?
Yeah.
Also, except for winning titles, but
and as we continue, Woody, I feel like your mic got lower. If you want to turn the volume up just a little bit, just a heads up as we continue.
You
So
you sound a bit quiet. Yeah, I was trying to cover that.
So as I looked over the stuff, somebody said being in a slump also doesn't help how I feel. So one of those votes might have been because they're in a slump.
That might have been me, honestly.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I felt that literally earlier in the year. I was like, man, this fucking sucks, and that makes me feel real shitty. So I know I've felt that before.
And
I can attest to that.
There's another one, literally just says, just don't have time to invest in anymore. So, I mean, that's another, some people, life happens. People, just life takes you different ways. So some people just kind of lose interest in stuff for the JRPL, and that's fine.
And some people, we can attest to this, get more excitement out of wrestling shows with the predictions.
Oh, yeah, I know I do.
I know Jeremy and we are all in on watching Impact shows in voice chat, because it's like, yeah, this is going to be fucking great. Because we're into it, watching it and stuff. Not even when we have matches against each other. It's just a lot more fun. It's a communal thing. So, yeah.
Yep. So, speaking of that kind of, the question number 3 was, what's your favorite part about the JRPL? So this really kind of opened my eyes up too. The voting in this was very widespread. There were there were 6 options: the competition, the community, just predicting. Some people like to gamble. Just predicting. Helps me stay in tune with wrestling, creating stories and role playing, and then the last one was helps me discover new companies like Impact and Ring of Honor. That actually got no votes. The help me discover new companies. I think that may have been true early on because a lot of people, just like you said, a lot of people didn't watch Impact. A lot of people didn't watch Ring of Honor back in the day until they started the JRPL, and they started watching those shows, and then they got it kind of into them. So,
and I don't know if people would say that they discovered Impact if they knew about it, didn't watch it. They never discovered it. They just
true. I guess. Yeah. I guess
didn't
you
bother.
could say yeah.
That might be a semantic issue there, but
yeah. So I want you. So Woody, what do you think the number one out of those: competition, community, just predicting, stay in tune, or creating stories and role playing? Which one of those do you think had the most votes?
I'm probably the community. I think I voted for community, so I'm gonna go community.
What do you think, Scott?
I'm thinking community.
You are both correct. Yes. Community got 38% of the votes, which doesn't sound like a lot, but like I said, it was more widespread. So in first was community with 38%. Second was the competition, actually, with 22%. And then Creating stories and role playing was number 3. Number 4 was just predicting pay-per-views. And number 5, with just a couple votes, help stay in tune with wrestling, which was only 6%. There's 2 people that voted for that one. So yeah, definitely overwhelmingly, I guess, not overwhelmingly, but the majority was the community. And I thought this question I thought was going to kind of run away with the community, but it kind of opened my eyes to see some people, their favorite thing is just coming in and just competing with people, which is, also fun. I'm glad people are enjoying different things, I guess. They don't get just one, they just don't like one thing with the JRPL. So this is very interesting and good to see, I think. So what do you guys think about the widespread here? Oh, sorry. I'll name names so it's easier. Scott, what do you think?
Oh, I was letting Woody go if he wanted to go first.
Yeah, I'll name names. It'll be easier.
Yeah. All right. For me, community, obviously, like I said, because I used to just watch the pay-per-views and like follow it on Twitter and stuff. But now it's like I'll jump in voice chat or even just the Discord live event chat and just commenting with people as it goes, and it's just a lot of fun. And met a bunch of people that I hang out with online now, and like I've not been doing any kind of live meetups, but people have, like Woody said. So that's just pretty cool. Yeah. And I've spoken to this when new people show up in the Discord. I'm like, look, a lot of people are going to disagree with each other. When you get 30 people in a room, not everyone's going to agree, and this is double that. But they're all going to help you on the right path. And I think Luke Gray and someone else, it was Tommy Oliver, they were like, yeah, everyone's been really helpful and helped me get like how to do this right. And I've seen people showing up and stuff, and it's like everybody helps out in their own way to get like, here's how the confidence points work, here's how your things work, here's how stories work. I had a couple of new guys come in from another federation talking about, hope we get booked, and we're like, no, you'll get booked, just show up. And like, oh, that's cool. So everybody's been helpful with all the different various aspects of it. And again, all these people don't get along. I say that, like, okay, they do, but it's this kind of a testament that everyone wants everyone. We all want more people in it, so that's just cool.
Yes, you'll see talk about that later on as we go, too. People wanting more people involved. And obviously, I would like that, too, but it's just a little bit harder than you would assume it is,
There's a logistics aspect of it. Yeah.
But, Woody, what are your thoughts on, the community being the number one thing? In the favorite part, people's favorite part of the community.
Well, since the very beginning, another neat aspect is factions, and then people, they get close to everyone in their faction. But it's not just factions that they're getting close to. It's like other people, and some people like they'll do their own little thing outside of Java Radio that they've met on this Discord or on Twitter, and I've seen that, and it's really neat, and I think that's really good, really cool.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy, like, something unfortunate just happened recently. 3J Platinum recently just had, like, I guess a heart attack scare, I believe it was, that he was posted in the thing. And it was just,
he thought it wasn't, but it was figured that it was.
Yeah, so it was very good that it wasn't. So it was unfortunate that he went to the hospital, but fortunate that he did not. Nothing major happened there that we know of anyway. So, and just to see people's responses on Twitter, I saw a lot of people like commenting on it, and people mentioned it in the Discord, wishing them luck and stuff, and just that. I mean, who knows? That's could be stuff that people just don't normally get, and they don't usually get that from everybody. So that, I think the community, though we do disagree on a lot of stuff, it is wrestling. We all have our different tastes and stuff. I still think, everybody's. It sounds super corny, but we're kind of in it together. I know that sounds weird.
We all mean well.
Yeah.
No one ever comes in there looking to raise a huge shit over things. I feel, even though they might be doing things to rile each other up, it's all because we love it. So
yes, I will be 100% honest. I know I am definitely one of the people that has, been in the center of a lot of, I call them discussions and debates. Other people will call it fighting or bickering or whatever about certain topics. I've been in the center of a lot of that stuff. But if you've noticed, I guess now would be a time to bring that up. I've definitely made it a thing for myself personally to tone that down ever since I would say it's an incident, but there was a debate or discussion about Matt Riddle and stuff, and things got kind of heated and people started getting crazy and stuff. Ever since that moment, I have forced myself not to get into a lot of these discussions because along with that and reading these comments that we're going to get to later, people just, I don't know, they get my comments wrong. Like, they think I'm in there. I don't know how to describe it. They're getting the wrong idea from my discussions.
I know exactly what you're saying because we have these talks on the podcast, and stuff can be misconstrued, and that's when we're talking to each other.
Yes. When
it's text, the context can be completely lost, and if you use the one word wrong, everything gets fucked up.
Sure.
I know a friend of mine. He would love to go onto these different forums and just jump in and look for debates about anything from like space fighters and video games to this and that, like World War history, things like everything, and just look for things, and he'd pick a fight because he wants to get a debate with someone who's passionate about it and just go tooth and nail at each other. And I'm like, I can't stand doing that.
Yeah, everybody's different. Yeah.
It's just aggravating. And the problem is when you get two people on different sides of that, someone's like, oh my God, how do you not understand this? I'm always of the opinion of just at least see where I'm coming from, is where I always try to come from. I never try to change anyone's mind, but I'll point out how I think you're wrong. And everybody who listens to our normal podcast knows how we can get. I've screamed at you, you've yelled at me. It's fine. We get it. But when that happens in like the Discord chat, I can see things going south from that because not everybody reacts the same way to what your intent is, if they even got your intent correctly. And that's not a knock on anybody. That's just 30 human beings.
Sure. Everybody's, personalities are different. Everybody's, everybody's got their own likes and tastes in wrestling. And one thing that really gets, really gets me down is whenever I'm in these debates with people on the Discord and stuff, or on Twitter, either way, and people constantly, for some reason, I constantly get, why can't they have an opinion, or you won't let them have an opinion. That I get that's like my number one pet peeve, because I have always been about people having opinions. Me getting into these debates or fights, if you want to call them those, with people is me not liking their opinion, but I never, have once said somebody cannot have an opinion or anything like that. So when people instantly say, because I'm disagreeing with somebody's opinion, they instantly say I'm not allowing them to have an opinion. And that happens very, very often whenever these debates broke out. And that's what really grinded my gears, I guess. But I think part of that is the how, because I remember we got into that over the whole like Becky's doing a Stone Cold kind of gimmick, and you're like, oh, that's undercutting her, and that's going to limit her thing. I'm like, no, it's not. And we went back and forth for days, and it's like, here's my opinion, here's yours, and we're just both pushing our opinion of it. Exactly.
Others will get crazy and be like, this is not a hill worth dying on, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm not, like, this one is, like, I'm so confident on this. Just look beyond, or this and that, and it's. Is it worth it in the long run for some people? No, because so many people just look at it and they're just so negative. It drives me nuts. It's like this. It's rough. It's rough.
And I'm hoping people listening to this aren't thinking, well, I thought they were going to talk about the state of the JRPL. I think this really is a big part of the state of the JRPL, was the the attitude and the discussions on Discord, because some people, it turns them sour on the Discord and stuff like that, and they think that people are only there to fight and stuff, and that stuff does happen. You'll have people that, like you said, there's so many people, they'll disagree and stuff. I think it's no secret that me and TB666 disagree. We disagree on almost everything, not everything, but almost everything. And I will almost to me feels like he'll say stuff just to get me mad, and sometimes he'll probably see me say something that he probably thinks I'm saying something to get him mad.
I guarantee it probably goes both ways, sometimes intentionally, sometimes not.
Yeah.
That's just how it's going to happen sometimes. And I go back to the idea of thinking of, an actual wrestling locker room with 20 or 30 people in it. They're not all going to get along, but they're going to try to get along to make stuff work. And that's what people have to kind of remember. It's like, what's the old line I heard from a comedian? It's like, just because you're offended doesn't mean you have like anything needs to be done about it. Yeah, I'm offended, and okay, now what? Like, it wasn't the intent, but it happened. Okay, let's move forward.
Woody, what are your thoughts? Is your mic working out? What are your thoughts on the? Okay, cool. What are your thoughts on the? I guess the mood of the Discord. I think it's gotten better because me personally, anyway. For me, like I said, I've definitely been. It's been my mission to not get into these debates that people get mad. People that aren't even in the debates get mad at me for voicing my opinion. It seems, but I have personally not done that myself often, if at all, lately. So, what is your thoughts on the overall mood of the Discord feel like? Just overall, like the discussions, the debates, and all that kind of stuff.
I think debates are healthy. I mean, I think the server's been getting a lot better than what I've seen as of late. Like, let's say months ago, because it was getting kind of toxic a little. It was like a little tad bit, but you know, I think it's getting better now. You have new people coming in, and you know, people are showing them the ropes, talking to them. And it just it's been doing a lot better, I think.
Do you also think it's been doing better, Scott, or do you feel like it's pretty much the same?
I think it's gotten better. This is the whole point of what we're talking about. This is not a dig, but sometimes how people react is the key. Because I talked about the whole thing with the Lesnar or the Becky Stone Cold thing. The way you were answering is, oh, well, then it's this. I'm like, that's not what I'm saying.
Sure.
And it just escalates like that. And certain people don't take that well and will just and it just becomes toxic. If you step back from that, and I've done it too, you get there. And I had a similar thing with, I think it was Switchblade. After a Double or Nothing, and then again with Fighter Fest. It's like, oh, these are better than anything WWE's done in 10 years. I'm like, exactly. That's a stretch. It's not, maybe, but then again, at the same breath, they're like, yeah, I've hated it for the past 10 years. Well, okay, then yeah, for you it is, but doesn't mean it's factual. And people got to step back when someone else disagrees. I'm not attacking your opinion. I'm just not agreeing with your opinion. That doesn't mean that you're wrong.
Exactly.
Or anything. It just means like I think differently. And I mean, you talk about online wrestling people. I'm not saying that like anything because I'm one too. But it's like, oh, how dare you not agree with me? Yeah, it's gonna happen. Like,
yeah.
And the three of us aren't gonna agree on everything tonight. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I think the reason why, I don't know. I think you guys can probably agree. Stop me if you don't agree. That I am one of the more polarizing when I voice my opinion. That people get mad at me way quicker than other people, I guess you can say. Like, I know I'll give my opinion, and people, especially with TB666, say he brings up a topic and I make a comment and I disagree with it or whatever, and immediately I'll see people like, oh, here it goes again, here comes a fight, and just people like, all right, I'm leaving, like that kind of stuff. And it's like, I mean, I don't ever intend on going out like looking to, you know, be toxic or anything like that. I admit totally some of my comments, you know, people can get out of control and say dumb shit from time to time. I'm very certain I've done that before. And so have other people. That everybody's probably done it at some point at least. I'm hoping to I'm basically trying to change myself for everybody as far as on the Discord, and you know, in Twitter's a little different. I'm a little more opinionated on Twitter now and not so much Discord, because I'm trying to, this is just me personally, not everybody has to do it, this is just what I'm doing. I'm trying to tone down the aggressive debates, I guess, for myself. It's
not the medium for it. Twitter is, because you can just put it out there and there it is. People can react, whatever, and you're not on it right away.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with that, how people can jump on it, because I'll see that with myself and with others, where it's like, oh, here we go again. And I'm the first one to be like, or it's just this, or it's not. Like, what was the thing? Britt Baker got a concussion during Fight for the Fallen, and someone said, oh, that's why she tagged the wrong corner. I'm like, not everything needs a reason. Maybe she just, went left instead of right and tagged one of the small brunette Japanese girls in white and got mixed up in the first time in the arena. Like, there's so many factors. Not everything needs a reason, but everyone tries to find a reason. Oh, it must be this. No, maybe she just, went left. It doesn't. And that's the thing. Oh, he's got to be doing it for this. Or Bomber's like, hey, I had a thought.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm going to do this for a thing. No, it just means, hey, how about this? And I always try to have people step back on that. I think Tigress said, like, oh, Uncle Scott's here. He's going to set things straight. When I came in during one argument, I was like, hold on, guys. Hold on. It's like, look at it from the outside perspective. This isn't this. It could be this. So I think it's gotten better. And I'll agree that I've stepped back from some things because not everything, this is a Paul Heyman line, but not everything is a hill worth dying on.
Sure.
So,
and I have definitely, it's just, it's in my personality to, I like debating. I like, going deep into stuff. That's just who I am. So
going balls deep.
Yeah. I love going balls deep. Yeah. No, I love going balls. No. So that is, it is my personality for that kind of stuff, but I am toning it down. I want people to enjoy, basically, I'm doing it. I want people to, I can tell people we're starting to get, a little mixed on stuff, and I'm trying to do it to make, the Discord a, more, I don't say happy place because that sounds lame, but, a better...
Welcoming?
Yeah, a better place.
Not even that,
not so many hard-fought discussions. And the last thing I will say on this kind of topic here, while I have been doing this, I have decided to... If I do have something going on with somebody, if somebody says something that really sets me off, I will not. It's happened. It's happened several times. I'm gonna give you some examples here. I will contact them. I will DM them. I will direct message them and be like, "Hey, let's sort this out." The first person I think I did this with was Legit Boss. I think this. I can't remember. It was over Patreon, which, as we're going to get to that next question, which is about Patreon in a second. I noticed he constantly, pokes fun and takes jabs at Patreon and stuff. And it makes me, I message him and I was like, hey, what's up? Is there something wrong with the Patreon? Is why do you keep making fun of the Patreon and like taking jabs at me on Patreon? And stuff like that. I won't go into discussion on everything we talked about, but topics and things that go on like that, I have been confronting people in DMs. I hope in hopes to, not have everything so public and not get everybody riled up and everything. Me and JD, who I think a lot of people probably know that we butt heads almost as much as TB666 and I, we had a really big discussion that lasted hours in DMs. Really, we got to the bottom of a lot of things. Found out a lot of things, really interesting things. Again, I won't go into details, but we didn't resolve anything. I will say that, but at least we know where each other stand, I guess. And we kind of had an agreement to tone it down on each other. So hopefully that helps everybody out and not seeing so much, drama or Discord or JRPL drama and stuff like that. So
well, and all it takes is for one thing to be said in the main chat, and someone else goes, "Oh, that's not right," knowing zero context of it. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, oh, now two people are trying to explain what something is, and someone else is trying to interpret it, and it just explodes well beyond what it needs to be.
Yeah. So, and I think people have been conditioned. This is just me, my conspiracy hat, as far as getting riled up with stuff with myself. What I've noticed, I think, and I could be wrong, I don't know. I think on the podcast, the Job Radio podcast, I think it's almost like a running joke to like for everybody to dig at Bomber, CZW sucks and like all this kind of shit. It's like kind of like a gimmick, almost kind of thing that we do on the show. Mm-hmm. Everybody just gives me shit and stuff. And I think some of that kind of bleeds over into Discord, and people know the buttons to push for me because of the podcast and stuff. People know they shit on CZW. They know I'm going to say something. And my personality, I'm the kind of person that I don't, I can't let people, poke fun or make fun of me or talk, take digs and me not say something. That's kind of how all this shit starts. But like I said, I'm sorry, and I'm working on it. I'm trying to do better. So when people will talk shit about CZW, they'll post, hey, look, here's Joey Ryan and Bar Wrestling, Bomber. What do you think about that? And I do my best. I just like, okay, yep, sounds good. I'm working on it. I will say that I am working on it.
It's a weird aspect of an online personality where you see someone, or you listen to someone every other week for 2 or 3 hours, and you think you know them. No, you're on the same level with others who are. Now, not saying that, we're internet celebrities. We're not.
Oh my God, no.
But that's what causes it. Oh, I'm going to make fun of them too. It's like, well, we rally you up because, we know how it's funny.
Sure.
We're your friends. Well, these aren't the same people. Now you're like, oh, now everybody's fucking doing it. Is it? But it's kind of neat at the same time. That's what I'm saying. Like when people see like an online vlogger or someone, and you watch them daily for 5 minutes a day, obviously you're not seeing the other 23 hours and 55 minutes where things might have been this or that and everything else. So you don't know these people like you think you do. Now, we're in the Discord chat. People do know us. We're not shying away from it. I'm not trying to be like, oh, we're famous people. Fuck no, we're not. It'd be cool to be, but it's not. But I think a little bit of that bleeds in where people are like, oh, this is a funny thing to say to Bomber. It's like it might have been,
and I think it's because
it's gotten old, it's gotten stale. Like you move on, the joke isn't the same joke anymore. Like there might be a bit of that because I don't even make fun of CZW anymore.
And it's also like people. It's not just CZW. There's certain things. I think Joey Ryan's another one, and
the Joey Ryan's a good one now. Yeah.
So many things. There's just bar wrestling. So many things.
I did say, hey, you got to watch bar wrestling. It's got Callahan and Cross. I'm like, hey, look, you got to watch that bar wrestling.
Yeah, and there's definitely ways to do it. And certain people just know how to push my buttons, and they'll say things that are just straight up. I remember, I don't know the exact details, but we were talking about something random, and then all of a sudden somebody said, yeah, well, fuck CZW. Something like that. It was almost just cut and dry like that, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
CZW wasn't in the discussion, and like, it's like, okay, what are we doing here? And like, we went in on stuff, and that was one of the times, like I said, that's changing, but I think people just know they're going to get a reaction out of me, and they maybe think it's fun because they know I will react to it. They know I will do that. So just a heads up, everybody out there. I'm not going to be reacting to everything. I'm of course, it's going to slip from time to time, but I am definitely working on it. I remember there was one discussion we got into it, and I even said, all right, I'm not gonna get involved in this. And Warden, whether or not he was trolling or being serious, he started like going on. He's like, no, let's go. And like, I'm like, nope, we're good here. I'm not talking about this. And he just kept egging me on. I'm like, nope, not going in on this, dude.
Some people like
he could have been just trolling, just having fun.
Yeah, but some people, and that's a thing with me because I like we talk about like board games, role playing games. I like all that stuff. Some people will play that in order to like game the game. And like their game is to ruin it for others because they want to have fun and manipulate this rule. I fucking can't stand that. That drives me fucking bonkers. So they're having fun doing their thing, and my reacting like that, they're loving it. I'm like,
yeah, they know what buttons to push,
right? Exactly. I can, but like, oh, I'm having fun. I'm hating it.
Look, what the fuck you doing, Woody? What the fuck you do? I see you just posted Bomber. So how about that bar wrestling? What are you doing? Exactly.
So, but that's the kind of reaction because people will be like, and I get that now and then too in the chat and stuff. Oh, this and this. I'm like, whatever. Like I just brushed it off.
Mm-hmm.
It's what it is. If you, that's a big thing. If you let it get to you, that's a thing. And to your credit and my own, we've both kind of went, it's not worth the fight.
I'm working on that.
And I'm not going to let it happen.
I am currently working on that. I will admit 100% that I am a victim of, or I should say it is one of my faults that I go in on stuff. I don't let stuff slide, but I am working on that currently. So I know we talked about that for a long time, so let's skip to the next little topic here. But I think that was important. That was one of the big, I think, some people call it toxicity. Some people call it, just the mood of the Discord. I think lately has been a big topic of discussion. So I think that was important to talk about that kind of stuff, just for us personally.
And a big thing about that, though, I'll just kind of go, because I think where you're trying to get at, because you mentioned it and I was going to mention it too, is that even if you don't agree that it's a problem, not that you don't, I'm just saying, even if you don't think it is,
sure,
people do. And you're like, hey, you know what? Let's work on that. It's the classic case of, I said something and you got offended. Well, I didn't mean to offend you, but I don't get to pick whether or not you are offended. You were offended. So what do I do about that now? And that's the kind of thing that's happening here. Like, if people don't like how it's happening, well, I'm not meaning anything by it, but it's still happening. All right, let's look at that. And that's to everyone's credit. That's what's happening. I've seen it from others too. It's not just you. But
sure,
I mean,
100%.
Start at the top, right? So it's that.
Yeah, I know I'm not the only one, but I will say that I am, I'm the first to admit that I am one of the main ones. So just,
yeah,
I'm not blind enough for,
good.
Crazy enough to think, oh, well, I'm not, it doesn't affect me. I haven't done anything like that. I know it's definitely, I'm one of the more, impactful people when it comes to that. So, so anyway, I just thought that was an important topic to talk about. Let's go to the next question here. It was, do you currently support Jabba Radio financially, either on Patreon or other means? I guess other means would be, there's no like donation or anything like that. I guess other means would be, through Twitch and stuff. I've been streaming on Twitch. Some people, subscribe on there and throw some bits and stuff. And thank you, for, helping out with that kind of stuff. Right now we have 3 Patreon people, no surprises at the moment. Our only Patreon people right now is Redhead, Jonathan C.T. Martin, and Bastion. And I'm not saying, if you're not one of those people, you're a piece of shit. I am not saying that at all.
I'll say it. No, okay.
Yeah, I'm just wanting to, and yes, Scott and Lee, of course, and I don't think Zion, Rab, or Peanut give a shit, but we'll always, if like just today, if anything on Patreon comes out, you guys, of course, they don't have, if you're like, well, why doesn't Scott donate and stuff? Obviously, Scott and Lee and everybody on the show don't
we're part of the show.
Yeah, and Woody's trying to sneak his way into the show here with this WoodYaTalk.
What? Oh,
but no, the Patreon, like I can shit on. There's anybody else sucks. No, everybody's awesome. These guys paid to be better.
Oh yeah, I mean, yes, I will always.
Not really, but it kind of is.
No, I will always point out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Like it's all Bomber. It all goes to him, and that's fantastic because it means it keeps going.
Yes, it's okay. Here's a spoiler. It's less than It's less than $30, people. So I mean,
it's still all.
Yes, yeah.
That's $30 more than you would have had otherwise.
Yes,
and all the hosts should get it cut.
Yeah, they should. Hey, here's your $5. Here's your $2.50. Here's your $3. Exactly. Yes. So look. About the Patreon. Okay, I'll give you the numbers. Here are the numbers here. The possibilities were, yes, I currently support Jabba Radio on Patreon, and no, I do not support Patreon. I will be supporting soon, though, was an option. No, I don't support Patreon, and I'm still undecided if I ever will or not. And then the last one is, no, I don't support on Patreon, and I have no plans on doing so. I just want to take a little guess for you guys, or a little poll from you guys. What do you think got the most votes on this topic here? Woody, we'll go with you first. What do you think got the most?
Probably that they would support it in the future.
Like soon? Like they'll support soon? Okay. Scott, what do you think?
I'm thinking the same one, actually.
Incorrect. When this poll was taking place, 5 people were supported on Patreon at the time. So 5 was the yes, I'm currently supporting. And 41% said, this is the most, I do not support, and I'm still undecided if I ever will or not. Second place was no, I don't support, and I have no plans on doing so. And third was no, I do not support, and I will be supporting soon, though. And that was 19%. This one definitely was, troubling to me. What are your guys' thoughts on that, hearing that right off the bat? I guess, Scott, you want to start?
It's the classic case of I get my content for free from you. Why should I pay for more?
Okay.
Which I've seen that, and that's not, again, I'm not shitting anybody. That's an old thing about TV stars jumping to movies. Why would anybody pay to see this actor when they can see him weekly on TV? He's not a draw. That's an old mentality. It's accurate. But like I don't support it because I trying to get my own stuff going. So there's like no offense, but I don't support Matt. I don't support they're my friends, but I don't throw money at them. It's its own thing. We kind of do our thing, and we try to build each other up. And it's a weird thing when we're like this part of it.
I'm
if
with
I
you.
wasn't.
Oh, sorry. I'll let you.
I was saying, if I wasn't part of the show, I probably would, because I'd want more of the stuff, because I like what is there.
Yes, and I would. First of all, I would feel weird if you or Lee or anybody that is like part of the main show and they have been for like years now. I would feel weird if you guys did support. Like I've always been, they're with same with Zion. He's one of my good friends and stuff. Obviously, we don't talk as much anymore lately, but I've watched his videos and stuff, but I've never been a Patreon supporter. I do feel weird about. I want my friends to succeed. So I know this sounds really weird. This may sound backwards almost, but I'm almost the same as you are, which I don't financially support my friend, like my closer friends, but does that make sense? I don't know if this is backwards for me, but I'm that same way. So I
literally am wanting to put the money I would put towards my own stuff, and I'd rather you put yours towards your stuff than toward mine. At the same time, this is a fun fact. I went to film school, and there's a couple guys that have had Kickstarters or Indiegogos, and I've supported them. Because it's like, hey, I want you to make this thing happen.
Sure.
Here's $20. And I always think the same thing. When I do mine, I'll probably get that back. From that. That's that level. That's like almost like a peer thing.
Mm-hmm.
With this, though, it's like... It's weird to describe. But yeah, like I wouldn't put... I'm not putting the money toward myself, so I'm not going to put the money I don't put toward myself toward... I don't put it toward anything. I don't support any Patreon, to be fair.
And that's fine.
So it could be a level of that. It's like I'm not supporting it. I'm supporting in different ways.
Yes, and like I said,
helping make the damn thing.
Yeah, and this is about like I definitely don't expect cast members to.
It'd be Canadian anyway, so you got to use outs.
That's true. Anyway, so Woody, what is your opinion on the majority of the votes going to? They're undecided if they ever will, or they have no plans on ever doing so. What are your upon hearing that information? What do you think about that?
Oh, everyone's different to where maybe they can afford it, maybe they can't afford it, maybe they just don't know if they can afford it. So, like, I think that's kind of a valid little option there, because we don't know anyone's life. We don't know anything about all of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Can I throw a counter question at you, Bomber?
Of course.
Could it be a possibility that they don't think it's worth what they are getting for their Patreon dollars?
Of 100%, because the very next question was, if you are not currently supporting, and please give an example of what you voted for. Like for the people who they have no plans of doing so, please give a reason why you don't plan on doing so. That was the next question. Very interesting answers here. I'm not going to go through every one of them. Again, here's a little plug. Hey, if you want to hear it, go to Patreon. You'll see every one of the videos. All right, one of the answers. There it is. Well, I literally go through every single episode or every single answer on that. But I'm just going to summarize some of them, and I will read a couple here. Sorry, trying to get that cough out. So to what you just asked, Scott, what if somebody doesn't think it's worth supporting? And first of all, let me preference this. Whenever we set up the Patreon, currently, obviously, I do not have a job because I just moved. And I have not found anything yet. The TV stations here are not currently hiring any positions that I, qualify for. And so I am trying to, hopefully, I've ramped up stuff on, YouTube's. I have 2 different YouTube channels, and I'm trying to get Patreon going here. I am trying to hopefully get an income in where it's just enough to pay some of the bills and stuff while I, look for stuff and try to get something. It's not necessarily, this Patreon wasn't set up for, hey, give me your $20 so you get these features. It's not really about that. It's about supporting Jobber Radio, supporting all the Jobber Radio Prediction League as well. It's the whole thing. The idea is to support the community, just everything. give back to all the content that's being provided, all of the, the hours and hours and hours that I spend working on the website and all this kind of stuff. That is more of what the Patreon was about. It's not necessarily, hey, if you hit this tier, which of course is Patreon, it's always better to add tiers, to make it more lively. But it's not necessarily hit this tier so you get this reward. Those are thrown in there to spice things up and try to, entice people to support. But the idea was, hey, there's a lot that's going on. Will you please support Jobber Radio, in all of the content and all of the things that we do? So I just wanted to point that out. Does that make more sense to you guys, or any sense to you guys, what I just said there?
I think so, Woody.
Woody, does that make sense to you? Oh, he's dead. Okay. All right. So anyway, forever. I just wanted to point that out first.
Yeah.
That
I think it makes sense.
The idea. Yeah.
It's a glorified, don't want to say it's like a donation thing, but it is.
Sure.
It's like
100%.
Because you're not expecting it, you're not requiring it, but hey, you want to throw me a bone? That'd be cool.
Yes. And, it's just, I've, put, how long is this? 2.5 years now or whatever? Holy shit. That, yeah. The amount of hours, if you boil it down to days, I probably work on this thing at least 8 hours a day. Like, if you, from time it started to now, on average. You guys don't see everything that I do here, but I do a whole lot. So I was hoping, with the Patreon, there would be more people that would support, the content that we do. But anyway, let's get to some of these answers. I just wanted to point that out on why the Patreon is there, because some people think for some reason, you'll hear on some of these answers. So a lot of them say they don't have the money, and that is fine. People definitely, have money to spend on other things. People say, here's one, I'm usually broke 95% of the time, so that's a valid reason, was an answer. Perfectly fine. Here's a very interesting one here. I don't monetarily support the things I spend my time on already, let alone communities I'm a part of. This might have been you, Scott. That sounds like you right there. Was that you?
I think that's... Say that again?
I don't monetarily support the things I spend a ton of my time on already, let alone the communities I'm a part of.
No, that's not me. Sounds like me, but not the community part. That's but that sounds like me. God damn.
And this is, I already know who this was. Show host. I draw the dollars. I don't lend them out. That's definitely Lee. 100% Lee. That's a fantastic answer. I see, that stuff's hilarious. I love that.
I draw the dollar. That's good.
I draw the dollars. Yeah. But for that one answer right there, I don't monetarily support the things I spend a ton of my time on, let alone the communities I'm a part of. To me, this is just me, that seems like a weird answer. I want you guys to give your opinions on that, because if you spend a lot of time on something, like you're in the community, there's a lot of people that, man, it seems like people are always, active and a part of stuff. Everybody's like always in on everything. To me, that seems like something that you would want to support. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Sorry, Scott.
I was going to see if Woody's back here. For me, it does sound similar to me. I can compare it to like a free-to-play game where I'll play the game, it's free, but would I ever spend money on it? No, it's free. Why would I put money into it? And then I'm playing this one game, and literally on sale for something that's $2 that makes things better. I'm like, I'll throw $2 at this game I've played for 100 hours. That seems about right. It was that mentality. It's like, yeah, sure, why not? Mm-hmm. It's the same kind of thing here. It's like, I never have to spend for this except for time, so why would I also spend dollars?
Question.
And I get that, but
I have a question. I have a question with that, what you just said right there. Well, I don't know if it's a question, but that makes me feel bad. Does that make sense?
Does it not make you feel like you're worth the money?
It makes me feel like
If people had to pay for it, they wouldn't bother.
Well, say that one more time. Sorry.
Wait, if you aren't doing enough?
No, Scott. What did you say?
Well, I said if you were charging access, people wouldn't be buying it. Like if it was $1 per podcast, they wouldn't spend the dollar.
Oh,
And it's like, is it not worth $1? Like I think that's the mentality I think people have. It's like, it's free. Why would I spend money on it? And
sure,
it's
sure.
just podcast. Like it might be that. It's like, well, what else do I get? You get to pick a best in the business. You get to do a thing here, here, here. There's other stuff. It's not just you're paying for something that you get free otherwise.
I see what you're saying. So
yeah, it might be that. That's my thought.
does it sound like I'm an idiot then?
No.
To me,
No,
it
because
sounds
if
like
people
I'm an idiot then.
No, you have people telling you in a certain way that you're not worth spending money on.
Yeah, that is exactly, yes. That is how, thank you.
Yeah.
That is how
But
I
it's-
feel, yes.
But they need to expand beyond that from you're not just spending money on it, you're also this. Like you're spending money on it, yeah, but that lets you able to do a show or pick a thing or do a this or do a that.
Yes.
It's other stuff. It's you're literally getting things that no one else gets.
Yeah.
So you are, I don't know, you're buying favoritism. Like Matt with his Patreon, you get the main shows early, you get uncut versions
Sure.
of episodes, things like that. For me, for what I do with my GPC stuff, even when I was doing that at the time, I'm like, I don't know what to do for a Patreon. Nobody gets things early. As soon as it's done, I release the video. There's no wait 3 days. These
Oh, yeah.
guys get early access.
I
I
do the
don't know
same.
what the fuck to do.
Yeah, I do the same thing, yeah.
Right? So I'm like, I don't know. It's, do you think this is worth money? If so, cool, throw me some money. If not, this is what's happening. That's all. I didn't structure anything else. So
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from on that side of it, but it still sucks if people are like, it's not worth it. Fuck you.
And that's the thing. I'm not saying if you take part, you should pay. I'm not saying that at all. I just, when the JRPL and the Jabber, like, more JRPL, this is focused towards JRPL people. So when I say the things that are provided for the JRPL, I've seen a couple, prediction leagues that are out there and stuff. I don't think there's anyone ever anywhere that comes close to what the JRPL does or has to offer or any of that kind of stuff. Nobody even remotely close. And I stand by that 100%. If somebody wants to challenge me, then I would like to see a prediction league that does better than what we do in the wrestling world. So, if you know one, hit me in the comments down below. I would like to see it. And people have been doing this for over 2.5 years. And now that I did put the Patreon up there, and I see very, I guess, little support, monetary support. It makes me feel like really bad. If that, I'm just being honest. I'm just, speaking, from my heart here. Just, it makes me feel really bad. Like you just said, like the work that I've put for everybody for, the 2.5 years and, how much we have planned going forward. Just, it feels like people are like, oh yeah, it's free. So why should I, give you money? It feels, shady almost, like not shady, but makes me feel like crap, if that makes sense.
Devalued.
Yeah, like I'm doing all this stuff for people, but nobody's willing to at least, even like, you can give $1 or $2. Like the minimum tier is $2. There's people that won't even. I mean, I know I'm making it sound worse than it is, but there are people that have been here from the beginning that they will tell you that JRPL is super important to them and they really enjoy it, but they're not willing to give $2 a month. That's a month. That's crazy to me. If there was something,
because for what they want out of it, it costs them nothing otherwise.
That's true. And that makes me think I'm doing something wrong. Like, why am I providing this stuff for nothing? Does that make sense?
I got you there.
And we're actually going to get into that more later when I'm going to have to explain some things to people that they aren't going to like. So, just a little spoiler for ahead.
Let's keep going.
So, Woody, what is your thoughts on this topic so far?
It's hard for me to really give a valid thing of this because I've supported.
Yes, at this time, yes, you were a supporter. Yeah,
I was a supporter, and then something that went wrong with my bank. I don't think I did something right, but I gotta fix that one first. But it's different people have different ideals or mindsets and all that, and it's just a matter of what if what you want to get out of it, or like it's just if you want to support and everything like that. It's different for everyone else. It's really hard to give a valid thing of that.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Some people just don't want to, and that's it's hard for me to say that's fine because it makes me feel bad that they're not willing to support. But I know in some people really can't. I know that's in. I'm not talking about or to those people. Some people honestly can't. But for those that say I can't, and they really can, and they spend a lot of time on the JRPL, those are the people that really make me feel bad, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's just me. I'm just giving my my opinion, I guess, on that, and I'm just being honest. So let me read a couple more of these, and we'll move on. One person says, "Not sure what I gain from it." Is an answer, a response. I don't know who that was, but yep. What do you guys think about that one?
That kind of goes with what I was saying.
Yeah. Can't do it financially, which that's fine. Somebody just replied with merch. I like that. That's good. That's actually one of the tiers if we can get enough, because I can't pay. It costs money to do these things. And, paying out of the pocket isn't just something that I can do. So if we have, the support to do it, I would love to get some merch going. But there you go. One person just says, I don't want any extra perks. I'm fine with the JRPL as it is, which is definitely going to, I think, what you said, Scott, with, if I'm not paying now, why should it, I pay? I think one person said they were unaware that we had a Patreon, which is interesting. One person replied with ignore. A couple NAs. And let's see, is there any more interesting ones? Here's the last one I guess I'll read here. Patreon is one of the things that, for me, I don't completely understand. I'm not financially able to throw an extra X amount of cash at something each month on top of everything else I pay for each month. If it was throwing some money to Patreon every now and then, I'd probably do it. Okay. So, the gist of things from what I got was the most of all, overwhelmingly, people probably are not willing to support Jobber Radio and JRPL. Is that kind of what you guys, that we feel on the same page as I am here?
Kind of. They don't feel that there's a need to, because what's there is there.
Mm-hmm.
But also what's being offered isn't worth spending on. It's real hard.
Yeah.
You'd almost need like another detailed survey to really deep dive into that.
Yeah.
But I can understand where you're coming from, the certain aspect of people don't think it's worth it.
Yeah. Do you agree with that, Woody, or do you think something different? Judging by, the poll that we took and stuff, do you think that that's probably what people are thinking?
Yeah, but it's also really, really hard to think of anything without, like what Scott said, probably be a detailed poll or something. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So moving on here, the next one is, would you agree that the booking has been fair in the JRPL? This is a strongly agree, disagree, and all that kind of stuff. We'll do it again. Scott, what do you think got the most votes? There's strongly agree, neither one, disagree, or strongly disagree. What do you think got the most, Scott? It was at 48%. This is a big one. This was the most, quite a bit.
There's a mid one, right?
Neither disagree or agree. Yes.
Neither.
Okay. What do you think, Woody? What do you think the most popular was?
Because there were so many, I'm putting a strongly agree.
Oh, okay. Everything got votes except one. Nobody voted for strongly disagree, which is good.
That's good.
That's good. With the lowest amount of votes was disagree, also good. 6% voted for they disagree that the booking's fair. But the most is agree, just regular agree.
Good.
48%.
I'm happy to be wrong about that.
Yes, me too. Number 2, though, is neither agree nor disagree. And then number 3 was strongly agree. I want to know what you guys personally think about. Do you think the booking has been fair or unfair? Woody, we'll start with you. How do you feel overall? And you don't have to, again, if you can say what you voted for or not, but what do you think now?
Oh, I don't remember what I voted for, but I know that the booking is extremely fair. But like sometimes, the story takes precedent over some things, but the booking is always fair. Always, always, always.
Oh, well, There'll definitely be some people disagree with that, especially when you were the fucking booker. Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm kidding.
I think I did a pretty damn good job, but
Yeah. Scott, what do you feel?
I think I put agree, not strongly, but I think I put agree.
Okay.
Because there's some stuff I don't get it. I don't know, but whatever. And most times when I ask, you're like, "Oh, this is why." Okay. Like it's you don't need to rationalize all your decisions. It's cool that you can. Like it's instead of just because is never a good reason, but sometimes 60 people, 10 match, it's gonna happen.
Yes.
I think I put agree overall. I know others aren't as happy with it, that's why I went with the medium one. And like, okay. Here's the one that I do not get. Okay. So we might be jumping the gun on this.
Okay.
But how are you in the Tournament of Death final?
Okay. So
because I made the joke when Hawk has lost 2 other matches to people. I'm like, or are they in it now? Like, as Woody beat Hawk, and then Arstella beat Hawk. Well, do they get in? Because you beat Hawk.
And then I beat Hawk, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I made those jokes. I'm like, well, is that how that works? How's it work? Is it just story? Is it whatever? I don't know. So I'm like, how is that fair? It was legit me going, huh?
You got me in a tough spot right here.
If it's not to be divulged, it's fair. I didn't want to put you in a spot.
No,
but that's the kind of thing where people are like, well, what the fuck is that? I can understand.
You know what? I think we should reward people for listening to the podcast here, or the show here. So I will answer your question. It's going to be a little, spoiler stuff for what the results are about to show. But I will say, 100% story. Are you guys crazy? Why would I fucking book myself in the goddamn Tournament of Death after I lost? Of course not. Of course not. That it goes with the whole story with Bomber losing his power. He's still trying to book things. You're gonna see in the Extreme Rules write up. Stuff goes down. There is a Tournament of Death 3 finals ceremony where it's got the finalists come out for a ceremony, and stuff goes down there. I won't completely spoil everything, but yes, Bomber discovers that he does not have power because he was completely, vacated of his thing. But of course not. I did that to, draw up the story and make people like, oh, fuck Bomber. Like he's this heel that would do that stuff. Yeah.
They weren't doing it to the character. They were doing it to you.
I know. I know that has been going on so long in the JRPL. Where I will, Woody's going to take a call, no problem. Where I will book some story and people just strongly dislike me, and I think they believe so much about like what the shady shit, the bad stuff my character does, and they kind of, take it out on the actual me when it's just all story stuff, which is crazy. They don't do that for everybody. I don't know why somehow. I guess maybe because I am the person that books it and does that. So I guess that's why. But of course, yes, that was the all story. I'd never had any intention ever. I thought it would be a fun thing, the whole Bomber story going on right now with him and LJ and everything.
Dude, I like it now that I know. But it's like, people were
exactly.
I was like, what the fuck?
Exactly. That's
like, what are you doing? Not what the character is doing. What are you? I didn't even disassociate it.
Exactly. And with this one, it's a little more. I wanted that reaction as far as people to be like, well, this isn't fair. What the fuck? That I wanted that reaction. Not in previous things that have taken place. I didn't want that reaction. People just reacted a certain way and they got mad at me for doing something. And I'm like, guys, Calm down.
it's like Charlotte. Oh, she keeps being thrown into these situations. Well, let's have that be the story then. Same idea. Oh, people don't like me making decisions. I'll make a decision.
Yes, and
Let's play with it. Let's use it for the story. Okay, I'm with you on that now. But
yeah, exactly.
There's got to be some kind of disassociation or disconnect for people to realize. Look,
100%. That's why it was all planned out. It was all going to be revealed and stuff. And I wanted people.
That'll still come out before this podcast does. You're fine.
Yeah, and like I wanted people to, get mad at Bomber, either me or the character, whatever. You do what you got to do, I guess. But get mad that, wait, why the fuck is he going to be in the Tournament of Death? That's not cool. He shouldn't be doing that. That's the reaction. That's what I wanted. That makes the story better that way.
Can I throw another avenue at you for that?
Of course.
What can they do about it?
Oh God.
They're mad, but they're feeling like they can do nothing. No, but it's like their characters can't do anything. Nobody can do anything about that, right? That I love it, but it's also like, well, it kind of goes nowhere in its own way. See, this is how we don't get along. Everybody listening, this is what I'm talking about. I'm like, I understand it, I get it, but I'm immediately questioning it, going, yeah, but what could anybody have done? Like, was anybody doing any story stuff to stand up for you aside from? I mean, we're giving away the ending now. But on the way to this, there was nothing about anybody like, oh, this is wrong, this is bullshit. Because you could have had characters doing that here or there, or others speaking up for it. But otherwise, it sounds like the people in Discord were upset, but the characters on the show just rolled over and took it.
Yes.
And that's very backwards compared to what I think you wanted.
That's funny. Woody, I know you were taking a phone call. We kind of just revealed a storyline that's going on. Did you hear it? Did you hear what we were talking about?
You're talking about the whole bomber thing, the whole entering yourself.
Yeah,
exactly. The bomber thing. Which bomber?
Yeah, exactly. There's so many. Yes, the Tournament of Death. Entered myself in the Tournament of Death. Scott, I don't know where you got lost on this, but Scott brought up the fact that he wasn't sure, because we're talking about fair booking. He wasn't sure, like, why the hell are you booked in that? And I basically just revealed that it was a story, and I'm not actually. Yeah, I'm definitely not in that. I will do certain things,
Yeah.
But
I'm
not.
bored. Lee is the Midnight Rider. No, he isn't.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Trust me.
I hold a lot of value. I don't know if everybody does, but I hold a lot of value in the titles in the JRPL. And yeah. I definitely wouldn't throw myself in a title match just because I wanted to like that. That would be unfair and not cool. That's why I did it for the story, for people to get mad at it and get mad at Bomber for doing that. And I definitely got the reaction from a lot of people that I wanted. I'll tell you that. I definitely got the reaction.
But like I said, it's the reaction was from the people in Discord, not the characters on the show.
Yeah.
And I think that's almost a misnomer. That's because if you had it where, like, you threw in a promo where I was like, fuck, like, you just had me saying, Bomber, he's doing it again. Little bits here and there where everybody's kind of against you. That would help toward that. Like, the solution's like, screw this. This doesn't work. This is dumb. That's an injustice that needs to be taken care of.
Yep.
But if that's not happening, then all you have are angry people in Discord who, or confused like myself, who aren't separating fact from fiction. And
it also
live and learn.
A lot of the booking over the years that we've done this, I usually take the approach to, hey, you're gonna have to wait and I have certain things, not everything. I have certain things planned out a certain way. I don't want to reveal stuff yet. Like, this goes to you, Woody, way back in the day. I don't even know if we've discussed this before, but way back in the day, before Discord, when we were primarily doing stuff through Twitter and all this kind of thing, you were the main vocal person. Like, I keep winning these matches. Why am I not doing this? Why is this not going on? I used that all to do a story. I had the whole time planned of what was going on with you and when you were going to be getting your world title shot and all this stuff. I had it all planned out, and you were going to be getting all that. But it was the build up to that story. It was the whole you were taken out of the match and this kind of thing, and then we had the contract signing. I'm talking way back in the day. This is 2 years ago kind of stuff. I had this stuff all planned out. It's just I didn't want to, reveal, hey, dude, don't worry because you're getting your title shot. It just it makes people buy in more and care more, I feel, about it when they feel like the stuff is, real-er, if that makes sense. I know it's all online and stuff, but real-er. Yeah. So that's that's how I book things usually. Like I try to, like bigger stories that I have planned out. You just kind of have to wait and see. It's not people get mad. People do get mad at, well, this isn't right. You shouldn't be doing this. I'm like, well, you don't know where it's going. I mean, I have it planned, but you got to wait and see.
We've talked about that during the main podcast about the immediacy of things. It's like, oh, they should do this with it here, here, and here, and here.
Yes.
Like, or wait because he won it last night and see where it fucking goes. You can't decry it now without seeing the future of it. The same thing here. I literally denied that Lee was the writer.
Mm-hmm.
Every step of I didn't even hint. I said I didn't know. I said I had no clue. I said I don't know who the writer is. I said I asked Lee to come back. And then when the write-up goes out, they're like, I knew the writer was Lee. I'm like, yeah, no, you didn't. You figured it was, but nobody told you it was. You never knew. You just happened to be right. And it was the worst kept secret in that sense.
Yeah.
But fuck no, I'm not telling anybody. Hell no.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Woody?
I felt like the whole thing where I was like asking for all that stuff, like how you weave it in the story. I felt like it made the story even more impactful because it got a lot of people asking about it. Like it got a lot of people active on it.
Yeah, that's all. That pretty much. I may be wrong, but I think that's almost what your whole beginning of the solution was. To solve the problems of the JRPL because of that story. That was you were being screwed over, and everybody was like, "Bomber's just this terrible thing, and we have to, we got to solve the problem and that kind of stuff."
Yeah.
So, again, these are just examples, and thank you, Scott, for bringing up the latest one, the Tournament of Death thing. Some stuff is like that. Some stuff I have planned out. Now, not everybody is going to agree with the booking. I personally, I promise to you right now, I know there's no other reason for you to believe me besides me just telling you, but I swear to God, I swear to anything on everything, the JRPL, I definitely, I cherish it, I guess. I think highly of it. I really care about it. I would not book unfairly at all. Some stuff may not, come off, fair. And I may not do a good job sometimes booking, but I would definitely never book unfairly, ever. Some people, oh, your boys, yeah, your UVC, Bastion's always at the top and always getting title shots. Bastion's fucking really good. I mean, that he's constantly winning like every show. So.
Oh, dude, believe me. I'm well aware of how I'm on a kind of an unprecedented run on main shows right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm starting to get towards going, hey, how about a title shot? We'll see how that really goes now that, like, look, I can back it up finally. So it's that kind of thing. But I think the key thing here is with the Tournament of Death final, it's what, Jace and Hawk in the final,
Hawk,
right?
yeah. Yep.
Do they know that you're not in it?
No. You guys are the first ones to hear this right now. Right here,
I guess that's it. If it affects others, like
I wanted them to be mad. I wanted everybody to be mad. Like, why is he in this match?
Why do you want those actual people to be mad?
I get that.
Make it
that's
to
where
make.
I'm coming.
Okay.
The actual people. If it's hey guys, for your characters, this would be awesome. Okay, but I'm not. I'm putting myself in it. Fuck it.
Sure.
It's drawing a weird line.
I see what you're saying.
Right? Like, but I'm with you because it's awesome. But at the same time, fuck.
That's why I'm willing. Sometimes in this case, I know I don't want this to sound corny as shit. I'm willing to sacrifice some like heat on me to make things more valuable or seem more important and make people care more. Like if that makes,
I just want to jump right on top of that. My
Sure.
worry is that they look at this and you put yourself in there, devalues it instead.
As far as what do you mean?
You're just making a mockery of it because they all went to a tournament and you put yourself in there anyway. I've heard people say that.
Yes, that is what I want people to think.
That's not characters saying it. That's actual people upset at you.
But because
I get it though.
I think that's only.
You know what I mean? They're legit going, fuck this. I don't like that. That's dumb. I don't want them to be turned off by.
It makes it feel more realistic though.
Over it. Yeah.
But it's all. See,
I don't want to be too realistic where people think they're actually getting fucked over.
Here's the thing though. I see what you're saying. I'm really glad we're having this discussion. I really enjoy this.
This is good discussion. This is
Yes. No. I see what you're saying, but I think those people are saying that because, and people have that same reaction to like WWE and stuff in real wrestling, with they don't know what's going to happen, so they get mad when they find
they're
out.
not literally invested of themselves in it.
I see, like, like who are, just, you can name drop a name. Who's, just give me who's one of the people.
I'm literally saying, like, I haven't talked to Hawk or Jace about this. I know they're both in Discord. I don't know if they're upset. I'm not saying that they are, but the fact that, like, if.
But you don't think
I might be upset about people in Discord were like, oh my god, Ricochet lost. I want him to have a better title reign, and you said that, like, oh, they're just tossing it around like it's nothing.
Yes.
And that kind of stuff, like, oh, it's whatever. Yeah, but Ricochet was in on it. He was supposed to lose. He knew that.
But that was the.
But you aren't. So you're like, oh, why are they doing these things? The difference with this is everybody in the JRPL is in it. They're part of it, and they're invested in it, and they're seeing power thrown around, and they don't. I guess that's it. You're pulling the wool over their eyes, but they're in on it. So why are you pulling the wool over their eyes? I can answer part of that from, you don't trust them, not spill the beans. I get that. I understand that part.
Oh, of course not. I definitely don't.
It's just an aspect of it where it's like, I would like to think that when you're doing stuff that involves the people directly, at least they would know.
So you're saying, so in your opinion, you think I should have told Jace and Hawk?
At least, like, they're the only two. Nobody else. No, fuck. If I get you. I understand where you're coming from for the other parts of it. Yes. But those guys have spent the last month thinking that they went through this tournament and they're going to be in there and have this all faction final. But you put yourself in there anyway, and it kind of fucks things up.
And
they don't know about for a few weeks.
And people are perfectly right. And people are perfectly right to not like that. But to me, when you just, like, as you just said that, a big smile came across my face, because the people that aren't happy about that is the exact reaction I want with that character. I want them to be mad that they fought through this tournament to get to the finals, and I'll be damned, that motherfucker is going to ruin it by putting himself in that match. It's all story. It's all story. I was never going to do that.
No. Here's the difference in what you're saying and how I'm seeing it. The people that are reacting are not the characters on the show. It's the actual people who play those characters who are upset at the actual person thinking he's fucking things over.
But it's not over yet.
But they don't even know that it's on. They don't even know that anything's going to be over. They just think, oh, Bomber put himself in it. Fuck this.
Okay, so
they don't even know it is the thing.
I want to get Woody.
That's just me. That's me.
No, yeah, Woody. What are your thoughts on? What do you think? Do you agree with Scott? Do you disagree with Scott?
I get it. I get what you're doing, and I agreed to it to a point to where it does get people more invested. It gets them more invested in their character. It gets them more invested in JRPL and the product, because I know it did for me at the beginning, because I was wondering, where am I getting this? Where am I getting that? And that really helped my character blossom into what it was, what it became, the whole GM storyline and all that. So, like, I get it, and it works, and it's really good. I like it.
Now, I'm glad, because you are the same exact boat. So, with Scott, with what you're saying, Woody was in that same boat that Jace and Hawk are in right now, which I didn't tell them, and it was all going to be revealed, and it was all going to be fixed. They just didn't know it. That's the thing. Everything has been planned to be, done the right way. It just was made to look like that damn Dirty Bomber is putting himself in that match. And if you've been paying attention to the story, those that have, Bomber lost all his power. So I thought it was going to be a little too obvious that this was going to be the outcome. So when I saw people get mad, I was like, wow, yes, people, I guess, overthought it, or just hate Bomber, or who knows, just me so much that they are really mad. And
no, you've got no power, the character, but you're still in the match, and it's like it wasn't overturned. Right? Why would it take that long to overturn?
Because at the next main show, it fixes itself, though.
I guess the whole thing I'm thinking is you're putting a storyline where people might not even realize there is a story.
Well, I was
they don't even, because people are looking at it from a legit factor of, well, why is he in that? They're not even thinking storyline about why the character is in there.
Well,
they're
then
like,
they
fuck,
didn't.
He just put himself in it.
Well, they didn't read the write up then, because it was all in there. Like the whole, like I cheated to beat Hawk. I made sure that I wasn't involved in the Ultimate X match. So
you cheated to beat Hawk, but your points were still better, and you won.
Well,
the legitimacy is that you won.
Well, yeah, but I mean, yes,
I know,
we're going kayfabe here. I mean, this whole thing is story.
But I think that's it. You're going kayfabe when a lot of people aren't even realizing there's a wall between reality and kayfabe.
I see what you're saying. So, in your opinion,
that's from my perspective. Because honestly, honest to God, I had no idea that this was even a storyline. I just thought, well, he just put himself in it because it's a hardcore thing and that's his character.
Huh, okay.
I didn't think it was ever going to not come out. And I legitimately didn't know, like, why is Bomber writing his character like that? Is my thought. That's legitimately where I came from.
Well, I feel like I've been consistent.
That's too much of the right story. I bought in too hard. If you want to put
it
that
to
way.
me, that's
congratulations. Awesome.
I was about to say, everything you're saying is the exact outcome I wanted. Like, people bought in too much. And so I feel like kind of what Woody just said. People are more. I'm glad you use the word you use the word invested, Woody. That's a great word. I feel people are more invested the more they care. If I would have done that story and nobody reacted, nobody would have cared. They would have been like, "Oh, who cares? Yeah, what if Bomber's giving another shot? I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to say anything." I would have been like, "Well, this fucking fell flat."
Dude, I can compare this perfectly. Okay. Hey, remember when I didn't like that they were building towards Charlotte and Becky, even though we all knew it was going to be Charlotte and Ronda and Becky? And I'm like, fuck, just make it be the story. Don't do this bullshit that we all know it's going to be. Imagine if you didn't know it was not going to be that. That's literally how this felt. It's like, well, I don't know that he's going to take himself out of the match. I think he just put himself in it. That's fucking weird. And I didn't be like, I enjoy this story. No, I'm like, oh, that's dumb.
Okay. I mean, yeah, like I said, everybody has.
Time, not everything works for everyone. Not it's there. I don't hate it. I don't. I get you. I just worry about that fine line of incorporating kayfabe into the absolute behind the scenes reality of people making picks.
Sure.
That part, that's like behind the curtain. If you want to get into that type.
Well, that's this whole show's about that. Yeah, we try to get behind the curtain. Yeah.
Like it's literally a case where people are not understanding why it's happening. Yeah. They're not even considering that it could be a story. Because I didn't.
And see, that's the thing. It's very, because I try to, we're still new. I'm trying to always change things and have different stories. So of course, all stories have, mostly been different, but it's just a different type of story, just a different approach that I went with, that I wanted to, achieve. I wanted to make, this moment more impactful, because I feel I wanted the reaction of people caring about it, and they did. So I was happy. And then what was your gut reaction when I told you just here on the show, when you asked about the TOD and I told you, oh yeah, it's all work, or it's all the work, and it sorts itself out. What was your gut reaction?
Instant reaction is, oh, that's all story? Was literally the thought in my head. Like, oh, that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, good or bad? Like, good or bad?
Oh, I like it now. Now that I know it's that. I think it's more that's the case. Yes. Like, I didn't know that I was supposed to be even buying into a story. I just thought, oh, that's dumb.
To me, I could be a total jobber in this, but to me, that makes me happy.
So here's the flip side of it, because when you take yourself out in the write-up, people might be going, oh, he took himself out because of the complaints, not realizing this was the plan all along. You're going to get that reaction.
Well, then, that's fine.
People like, oh, they'll hear this podcast and be like, no, he just did it to do whatever.
Well, then that's on them. Then
right?
I can't help that.
But that's the nature of it. I mean, you can't help that.
Yeah, I can't help that. If they feel that, that's fine.
It literally. I don't know. I just feel it weird. Like if it was me in the similar situation with a storyline that was going on that I didn't know, it's like, well, how can I help make this story work if I don't even know I'm part of it?
Gotcha.
And that's what I mean for Hawk and for Jace. Like, they could have awesome write-up stuff for the past few weeks going towards this stuff with Bomber, hating him, and they're a faction together, and they're teaming up against Evil Bomber. Oh, wait, no, he's not in it? Well, all our plans are scrapped now, all that work we did, if that's what they did. It helps for them to have been involved, is my thought for that part of it.
I see what you're saying, and I will say this. The Legends of New School gave me a promo that's going to air at the very beginning. You know, I feel weird saying air, but you know what I mean. It's going to start the pay-per-view. This is a more little spoiler stuff for you guys. It's going to start the pay-per-view for Extreme Rules. They're in the locker room. And I'm going to tell you right now, one of the best promos I've read so far in the JRPL. Nice. And they are pissed that Bomber is included in the match. They are very mad.
So here's my worry, is that there could be a lot of that where it's not just their writing character. You have two people in the JRPL who are unhappy. And if not for the fact, it's a story, they might be like, you know what, fuck this, I'm not going to bother. That's the line that you're willing to go.
Yes.
Because that's what worries me about it, because it sounds like you got enjoyment out of it. No one else even knows they're supposed to get enjoyment out of it. You see what I'm saying, right? It's just...
I can somewhat see what you're saying.
It's a dangerous fine line that I am applauding you for. Don't get me wrong. I'm like, fuck, that's okay. I got it. But they didn't even know? Oh, dude, what the...
Yeah, I guess technically, if anybody knew, LJ knew what was going to be happening. Like, not...
I figure because you guys have that story. That's your own story, so I figured he...
Yes, he's part of the story.
Would know what's up.
He knew that I was not going to be in a triple threat at SummerSlam. He didn't know any details on what was going to happen. You guys have
that match coming.
Yeah, he just knew that, but he didn't know any details and stuff. He was...
See, we're going crazy detailed on this one aspect of it. I guess that's the different mentality. I'm like...
it goes perfect with what the question was. Do you agree that the booking's fair or not? And some people, like what you said, some people may think things are unfair, but besides me just saying, I promise, there's nothing that I would do or have done purposely ever, so far at least, that has been unfair.
And that's the fine line, because people are going to say no because they don't even realize that it's not story, and they can't disconnect it. You're too much Vince McMahon in some ways. Like they can't see the character from the reality. And do you want that? Like I don't. Do you want people to really hate you over your booking and potentially leave?
Well,
I'm that's a huge. I'm saying that, but that's the extreme, obviously.
No. And you know what? I have been seeing a lot of that, but it's not that I'm not purposely trying to drive people away. I'm trying to create a more interesting environment, I guess. But
it's interesting environment, but at the expense of certain people.
Like
potentially, like you've got two guys who went through this tournament format to get to the ending, and they gave you the best promo ever, out of possibly legit anger. Which, okay, cool, you got them to that point. That's cool. You go, hey guys, it wasn't real. You're doing whatever. Cool. They're probably like, fuck you, that sucked. Okay, good, we're on our own, but damn, that was shit. Like, you could get that reaction out of it. I don't want to speak for them, but
of course, I
would probably be like, honestly, fuck you. Why didn't you tell me?
Oh well, I mean,
that would be my reaction because you can trust me.
I would feel unfortunate if that is somebody's reaction, but everybody can have a reaction if they want. I mean,
and that's me. That's how I would react if I'm the one in a million. Cool. But I'd still be on board. Be like, what can we do now? Let's run with it. I'd be excited.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong, but that's me.
And I hate
that I'm probably overreacting.
No, and I hate that we're going so detailed on this one topic, but I think it has been an interesting topic to say. Woody just said, "Bomber Scott, I gotta go. Twins' mom came here unannounced." Okay. What are you still?
Well, he's got the Bella twins, so he's got to do what he's got to do.
He's already gone. Okay. Well. All right. So anyway, I just wanted a preference. I feel. I'm sorry that some of you do feel and disagree that the booking is fair. Some stuff is difficult. I know that I think the hardest thing for me to book is the Road Warrior Championship because so many elements come into that title.
People were not happy about Beer Me getting a title shot.
Oh, sure.
Because he had a lot of losses in a row. However, he had a lot of house show wins. That's what you gauge that on.
Yes.
And so I was like, why is Beer Me getting a shot? Oh, he's got a lot of house show wins. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. And I'm on board with it. But others like, oh, that shouldn't be right.
That title is
never satisfy anybody. So
yeah, and that title right there is a hard title to book for because you have to people with that title, you have to avoid getting caught up in tournaments like goddamn Woody did. I wish he was here to hear me fucking tell him that, because I always get on with that one. You got to avoid tournaments. You got to try to avoid stories if it can get caught up in a story that you don't want it in. You have to think about people that are going to show up on every show. You got to try to think of who's doing, like, you know, good on top of things. Sometimes, like Beer Me Jesus, I was in a scenario where I had a certain amount of people. Excuse me. There's a certain amount of people to book in that title match, and I had to pick somebody, and I didn't have anybody that was doing good at the time. And I had to pick somebody. I had to look for a reason to give somebody a title shot. And Beer Me Jesus was, I forgot what show it was. It was probably Ring of Honor. I'm not 100%, or NXT or something. Whatever it was, he had a very good record at those shows. So I went that route. Sometimes I do go that route. Sometimes I don't go that route. But that is the hardest thing to book. I don't try to book anything unfair when it comes to that. I try to book it as hard as possible, or as logical as possible, because it's an easy title to mess up and get caught up in something that it doesn't need to, since it's defended on every single show.
And I think to that extent, now knowing, like, look, this is how Bomber books.
Yep.
Okay, people can believe that or not, but I think that's a good way to look at it and understand where stuff's actually coming from. Mm-hmm. Because now people know, oh, well, he did whatever. It's part of the story. It's legitimately a way people can be like, look, you can be upset, but it's probably for this. Okay, that I think honestly will alleviate for some people. Yeah. I hope so. And I think it was worth the half-hour discussion we talked about it.
Yeah,
I legitimately think it's like, look, guys, calm down. This is why. Okay.
And I don't want to be like, if in that, I don't want to go into the other topic again, but in that scenario where there's a plan, I don't want to come out and be like, guys, everybody calm down. Don't worry. It's going to go this way. And then that kind of like, then that to me devalues it. That ruins a story when I have to come out, when so many people are like, well, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And there is a reason behind it. If it's supposed to be secret, I will keep it secret like that. But if it's not like a secret thing, I'll say why somebody was booked in a match or why this was, done. I've been pretty transparent. I think I hope so. People will agree with that.
Well, and like I said, it's just a matter of logistics and being smart about it, because now that people know, then they can believe it if they want. But now that people know, hey, this is how it works, this is what it's going to be, this is how the booking is. Yeah. Don't I'm not going to tell you everything behind it. Like what Rhonda said, it's more fun not to know. Yes. I'm never going to tell you the legitimacy of it. But hey, wait and see. That means either it could work out or it's not, or you mean you're right and you're vindicated, or you were wrong and it was this storyline. Just take a step back. Yeah. And not everything is evil Bomber, the actual evil person. No.
I think also people are just we're wrestling fans. We're just conditioned to get fucking mad right away at booking. Also, I think that's just in our nature. Into I know I'm definitely skeptical about stuff because I'm a wrestling fan. Like when I see something, I'm like, that's not true. Yeah, it's because I'm a fucking wrestling fan. I'm like, oh, that's a work. But I think we're conditioned to automatically dislike booking decisions and dislike stuff that we don't know the outcome, and we just don't like what just happened. I think we're conditioned to that. But I book everything for the story for the most part. So anyway,
and I'm with you there. I'm with you 100% on that. So yeah.
So I mean, and again, last thing I want to say, I'm very sorry if you do think I'm booking unfairly. The only thing I can tell you is that to my best abilities, I am not being unfair. That's the most I can say about that.
So if it ever comes up unfair, it was an accident.
Yeah, and I will explain everything I can. If you want to know why somebody got something, and you demand to know why, if it's not a secret, I'll probably tell you. But anyway, the next one was, how much longer do you want to be a part of the JRPL? This was, I wanted to see if people were ready to leave, basically, by doing this question, see how much people are, still interested. Kind of like earlier, the first question. Not much to talk about here. Everybody either voted for Until My Dying Days, which I thought was hilarious. And I put that one in there for a joke, by the way. I didn't think anybody was really going to pick that. 45% of people picked that, and 45 people picked For a Long, Long Time. Those tied for the most. The only other vote that got anything was the JRPL has been fun, but I'm losing interest in wrestling in general, so not much longer. 3 people voted for that. Nobody voted for the JRPL as being poorly ran, so not much longer. And nobody voted for I'm starting to lose interest in the JRPL, so not much longer. The only one was losing interest in general. So that made me feel really good. People, I guess, for the most part, say they're in it for the long haul. So, not much to really go into there. That was just good to see. Next, open-ended question here. What do you believe needs improved upon the most in the JRPL? Holy shit. A lot of different answers here. I'm not going to go into all of them. First of all, I don't know what you put on here. You don't have to say exactly what you said, but what would you jump out and say right off the bat?
I don't even remember what I wrote.
Me neither. But I mean, just gut reaction, like right now. What would you say?
Thinking on it now, yeah. What needs to be improved the most?
Yeah, like the number one thing that needs to be improved.
I almost want to say people calming down.
I think there was some of that. There were some people saying that.
At the same time, though, you want that passion. So
about certain things, not about only about certain things. I want people to be passionate about, not like people getting mad about random WWE or AEW stuff like that causes problems like that I was a part of. I'm not saying I wasn't, that I was a part of, that we talked about earlier. Like that kind of stuff I would agree with. Yeah, it needs to be calmed down.
As far as for like,
oh my god, I'm reading this right here. I bet you this is your answer.
Which one?
I bet people overreacting to long-standing rules being implemented in ways they don't like.
Yep, no, that's it. That was it. That's it.
As soon as I read it, I was like, I bet you that was Scott.
You can tell my write-up style.
Yep.
What that was when it's like, oh, this match is going to be thrown out. No, it's going to be this. I'm like, guys, fuck, it's been established for 2 years. It's this.
Yes.
And the only one who decides it is that. You don't get to decide back and forth and bicker between 5 people how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And then when Bomber says it's this, you get upset over it. Why did you even that's the rule. I have that.
I will say, again, with the world of wrestling and what we're doing, it is so hard to there's times where you'll have so many scenarios on what will happen, but then something in wrestling will go the other way. And unfortunately, that's what happens it's almost like a sandbox type deal. Mm-hmm. You have to make some rules up as we go, because you can plan money
in the bank.
Exactly. You can plan for 8 different things, and then the 9th different thing will happen.
Yep. We literally went through the whole match wondering if Sami Zayn would come out and the points would count.
Yeah.
And when he didn't, the points don't count. The match is thrown out. Well, no, it's still got 8 competitors, though, because Brock Lesnar did it. It's not a matter of 8 people. It's those 8 people. And that was literally happening.
Exactly.
It's like, guy. And it bugged me.
I understand.
So that kind of thing, honestly, like, these are the rules. That's what they are. And also, though, rules can change when it's like, you know what? Look, we're going to do it this way going forward. I literally, in the first tag team tournament, there was a draw in the first round. Both teams advanced. They faced the outsiders. They beat each other. Outsiders lost. Lee and I weren't happy. That started the whole storyline.
Mm-hmm.
In the second year, if both teams lose, they're both fucking out. Too damn bad. Like, that's the rule changed. Here's what it is now. If you tie, neither of you won. You're both out of it. So things can change, but it's not going to be like not mentioned as far as I know. Like, it'll be described on an article or something.
Yeah, there's definitely been stuff that had to have been done. And I hope people don't misconstrue those things happening as, oh, well, he's trying to do it a certain way to benefit somebody else. That definitely will never be the case.
There is, I can say, I know there's talk of that about like match of the night points. Where like Hell in a Cell match points are doubled.
Yeah.
And it's those points that count toward match of the night, but they weren't that way beforehand. It was just
originally
points before.
Yep.
Yeah. So like people were upset that it happened for a certain reason. I'm like, well, whatever. No, if that's what the score was, that's because of the craziness of the Cell. That actually would make the Cell match more memorable. I understand why, but people didn't like the change. And
sure. And
I get it, but it's.
And there are people that don't like changes to the rules that happen, and that is fine. But listen, I know we're like 2.5 years in, but I still picture that as being, newish, and you have to evolve. you have to evolve with some of the rules. Like if something's not working or doesn't make sense, like with the War Games rules, they didn't make sense originally, and they're still very convoluted. I will say that. That is one of our most convoluted match types. But we had to change some stuff because it was too, confusing for people.
The way the benefit worked actually was a detriment to that team. Like in reality, it didn't work. So yeah.
So stuff like that, stuff like the Hell in a Cell and the Match of the Night stuff, that makes more sense to, if a Hell in a Cell has like 90 points, obviously it's going to be, if a Hell in a Cell match is most likely going to be your match of the night. I mean, there's a chance. There's a chance that it wasn't, because you can score really low on Hell in a Cells. So things change, things evolve, rules change over time. They're not changing to, piss people off. Obviously, they're changing to hopefully make things better in the future. And sometimes people don't like the way they do change, and I understand that.
And so the match of the night thing, I can say from there too, because the points changed and how they're calculated. People were like, "Oh, you should recalculate what was your match of the night beforehand." It's like, no, that
would have been terrible.
My argument against that is, okay, well, there used to be weight limits on certain MMA fights. Light heavyweight is 205. It used to be like 190 or something. Way back in like the 90s. They changed what the weight limits were and what they were classified. If you implement it now, light heavyweight is 200 pounds. Well, that means whoever weighed 205 was overweight. So we got to vacate those, right? Well, no, of course not. That's what it was then. That's what it was then. This is what it is now.
That's a very good point. Very good point.
That's how I always look at that kind of stuff. It's like, going forward, here's how we do it. We're not going to do more match of the nights for those points because they were retroactively this. No, that's how it was. That's how it is here. So I'm open to that, but I get frustrated by people who do that. And I'm not shitting on anybody who does it, because I get it. You guys care too. But oh my god, it's a weird hill to die on to bring that line back.
I can tell Lee's response too, because his is amazing again.
Oh god.
His response was, Lee needs to be given 80 wins for free. That was just the most improved thing in the JRPL. Lee needs to be given 80 free wins.
Oh, that's pretty good.
There are, I'm just gonna rapid fire some of these. We're not going to go into detail on all these. Notifications when deadlines are, that is definitely something that I would like to be, more streamlined, and better. I do agree with that.
Admittedly, we're finding stuff was like, oh, when's the pre-show? It's at 7:30. Oh, fuck. Okay, we'd like to find a day of.
Yeah,
right?
Some of these shows, it is kind of confusing and
hard
to
see. It is unreliable, but yeah.
Yeah. More variety in matchups instead of similar people. I somewhat disagree with this one. I understand whoever this is maybe feels like some of the stuff's in the same matches with people, but I feel I do a relatively good job giving people different matches, unless they're in programs with people.
Can I throw an interesting statistic at you?
Yeah, sure.
We have had 6 different people hold the world title.
Yeah.
3 of them have had it twice.
That's impressive. That is impressive. Now,
that's kind of weird when you consider a roster of 60, only 6 have had it. Now you get the brain going, oh, more have it. It's the general reaction people have with wrestling nowadays. No, it means those 6 are the best, and everyone else wants to be the 7th.
Sure.
You don't just get to be the 7th. You got to prove your way there. But it does mean that the rotation of the world champions is very elite, and that's its own thing. And you look at how many title matches there's been, I think it's still under 20 actual world title matches in the 2.5 years. 60 something shows, I think, was the stat I found.
Yeah.
No Jobber Radio host, Woody doesn't count, has ever even had a title match for the world title.
Interesting. I didn't.
None of us have had one. Not even you. None of us have had one yet.
Yeah.
So there's things like that. Oh, does that need to change? Well, here's the thing. Those guys have been doing great. But then, John stopped showing up.
Yeah.
So, and let's talk wrestling. That means opportunity.
Yeah.
And I sound like a shill. I know it. But trust me, all these people leaving or stepping aside, cool. More chances for me. That's how I look at it. And that's how I'm trying to make it work. And if not for the storyline with Lee at SummerSlam, you better believe, Bomber, I'd be campaigning you for a title shot in Toronto for SummerSlam. Would it be right? I don't know, but I just beat Warden in a fucking big match. That's huge. That's big. So yeah, there's aspects of like new blood here and there.
That's true.
I will give you all the credit in the world around the titles for having new blood here and there. Kill the League really didn't deserve a title shot, but you know what?
Correct.
Fuck it. Let's give them a shot because that's what it takes. Team No Chance is called Team No Chance. They're 2-time tag champs.
You know what?
Like you give them shots and you never know what can happen.
You just made a
but
great
at the
point.
at the same time, I'll let you have it in one
No,
second.
you're good. You're good.
At the same time, you kind of got to earn it too. Like if you're consistent, I'll throw you a bone. That's what Bear Me got. That's how that does work. And I'm talking titles only. I know the other matches here and there, whatever. I'll face Tom. I'll face Cross. I'll face JD. I'll face anybody. Others are open to that too, and you get that back and forth here and there. So I think some people might still be climbing up the card, but I don't want to be that. I'm going to be that guy. Fuck it. Those people who want more diverse matchups, are your records good to get onto the main card and climb against better opponents? I hate to be that guy, but if you're in MMA and you're like in the top 20, you're down toward the bottom of that, fighting guys in the same range, and if you're having trouble with that, you're not going to climb. You got to do good to climb. But you never know when someone else falls down a bit and you happen to beat them, oh, you go up a bit. And that's what can happen. So, like, if Nathan 8K beat me back at UK TakeOver, that would have been big for him. He would have climbed a bit on that. But I beat him, because I probably should have. And then we climbed from there. They beat us for the tag titles. You never know what the fuck can happen in this stuff.
Yeah,
it's
especially
crazy.
in tournaments, yeah.
Right? So I'm very open. I have no problem with your booking, aside from give me a title shot. But I have no problem with your booking for that stuff. I'll say that.
And I don't want whoever wrote that or to feel bad for putting that.
No,
everybody.
That's opinion based too.
Yes,
to be fair.
Yeah. I just myself, and it sounds like Scott just disagree with it, and that's fine. It's fine that you feel that way. I guess I'll just try to do better. I usually, if I'm trying to find matches for people, I will go to their profiles and I will look and see who they have not fought before. That is a big thing that I do. And I go and book, oh, well, this person's never fought this person. All right, well, let me book that. And I do that very often. So I try my best to not constantly put people in the same matches. Yeah, it'll definitely happen from time to time. And I'll book if I see, for example, that Green Machine fought, I'm just throwing names out there, Ash at Survivor Series, 2017. And I'm like, oh, it's Survivor Series 2019. You know what? They never fought each other since then. How cool would it be for them to fight each other at the same show 2 years later? Like, I will do that. I will book some matches like that, where you're facing the same person that you fought before, but it's been a really long time since then, and let's see how you've improved. Let's see who wins this time, that kind of thing.
The most important thing to me in my JRPL career has been reaching out and calling people out and saying, hey, this would be a cool match, wouldn't it? Then we need to work toward that down the line. What are you doing at Stomping Grounds? And, make it happen. Not that you're going to get every match, but you never know. That can lead to awesome stuff like Beer Me and I having our second submission match and then chaining into Warden right after that. Can also cost you the Road Warrior title because you pre-committed to a Spring Tigress match.
Yeah.
You never know what'll happen, but it's all good. That's if I mean, this sounds stupid, but if you don't like the booking you're getting, talk to Bomber and talk to people and say, hey, you want to have a match down the line? But
that's true.
But this is the important part because people keep calling me out. Oh, we need to have a match. I'm like, I'm literally in the middle of a story and a half. It doesn't make sense to just have a match over here. But then again, you know what? Over here, it does. Let's have this match. This could be fun. This is something in between. Here's what we can work this in.
Yeah, house shows are usually perfect for that.
I'm all about that. That's great.
Yeah.
So, but it's we need to have a big match at SummerSlam. That's fucking SummerSlam. We're going to do a thing.
Yeah.
If you're like, I need to figure something out, I hate to say you're behind the curve, but you are. You want to actually get in there and have stuff and work toward it. I'm literally thinking of Survivor Series right now and stuff like that. And
me too.
I know it's funny because Red and I had our awesome WrestleMania story. We started planning that around now last year. And are we going to do another WrestleMania? I don't think so. But Red versus Scott, the rematch, has to be big however that goes down. Whether it's in a Survivor Series or in the Rumble or some kind of... that's going to be a moment. So
Yeah.
I don't want to just throw that away either. So it's important booking for that kind of thing.
Oh man, I just read
What?
I just read one of the comments on this one.
Well, I was gonna say, like, from the flip side of it, if it's like, hey, it's a nothing match, that's also not that great. You gotta have.
Yeah,
I have to have a reason. But if you book me against Cross, I'm like, fuck, I'll face Cross. That sounds fun. And I reached out to him on Twitter and said, hey, how's it going? What do you want to do for the match? I don't know. Make it exciting. Gotcha.
yeah,
and that was it.
Some people, and that's perfectly fine. Some people just, they're just in it to compete, and that's perfectly fine.
Yep.
That's
Like Tom. I never talked to Tom. He's
Tom.
not on
Yeah,
here.
he comments on our, he'll probably comment on this video. He comments on our YouTube videos, but that's, I think, the only time I ever see Tom communicate, which
But
is
yeah,
fine. That's perfectly fine.
I know it sounds like I'm a shill saying take it into your own hands, but really do. It'll help. It's the best thing I could have ever
Hell,
done.
that's literally.
I won Trash Talker of the Year doing that because I would call out everybody. Because what happens is when I do that, the seed gets planted, and 3 months later, you're facing one of them, like you said. Oh, it's like long-term storytelling. No, I just threw a name out there.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like I've been talking about Kill the League, saying how like you don't want to kill the league. You got to go through me first, just in case it ever happened. You want to seed those seeds, plant those seeds for that kind of thing. And I know you'll like it because hey, your job's getting done for you.
Yeah, and like I said, that's what house shows are kind of for. If you're not liking, you're getting this person, this person, this person. Well, house shows are. I mean, you can always tell me first of all if you want something to happen, and we'll make it happen as long as it makes sense. But house shows, you get to usually, unless it's somebody's already planned for something. If you ask for a match, I'll give you the match as long as somebody's not tied up. So,
and that's the one thing where there might already be something happening that you've got to take into account.
Sure.
Like, I know someone would like, oh, I'll do this with this character. It's like, well, no, you got to tell them that you want to do that with that character because they might not be up for it. CT and I got mad at him for writing something where I was going to use a bat on Redhead, and I think he had me swear. I'm like, no, my character doesn't swear. Like you didn't write my character right for that.
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't have done that. Also, I'm saving that for something. Like it's the moments, the little bits here and there. So
Sure.
He was cool. He's like, oh, sorry, it's fine.
Yeah.
But you've got to be mindful of that, where you don't do stuff with a character that's not yours. I guess that goes why I was like not understanding you not telling Hawk and Jace, right? It's like, why would you tell their characters that? That's my mentality. Is I'm never going to do something with another character if they're not cool with it.
I understand.
So that's just me. But when you get in there and you start going back and forth, Beerme and I have fucking fun with our matches, and Ward and I had fun, and Red and I, oh my god. So and Lee, all the stuff Lee and I were talking about. It's great. So like, just talk with the people to get the matches, and then tell Bomber, hey, we got a plan. Cool. And if Bomber goes, no, we already got something, he is not shutting you down just because someone might already be booked. Like,
I'm not being
if someone
a dick.
came. I'm sure, Bomber, if someone came to you and said, I want to face Scott at SummerSlam, no, there's a plan.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's like, sorry, we're not turning it down because it's your idea. It's no, there's already a pre-existing, but let's work at what's all out looking like. Maybe we can do it for the next one and stuff. So,
so just to finish this question up, there was a lot of, nothing, I think it's good as it is. One person said the match card order, maybe I guess they don't like the ranking of some of the matches, which...
I
mean,
Tigers and I should have been main event. Fuck you, main event.
Fuck.
But again, story. I understood that one. I get that one.
Yeah, that one had more of a yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Not biased booking is one of them. That's an interesting. Wow, I don't know if that's just a shot.
Let's
at
not
me.
go down that road.
I'm not.
We
already.
That is.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that one up, but so I have a feeling whoever put that also hit the disagree or whatever with the booking. Is my guess.
We spent an hour on that.
Yeah. I'm not bringing that up again. Just wanted to point that out. There was one that I definitely wanted to bring up, but I don't.
It's always good
for
the villain to be nasty for the hero to overcome him.
Here it is. Here it is right here. There was a couple somewhat like this one. The only thing that's ever bothered me in the JRPL is profiles not being immediately updated after a show to reflect the results.
True.
That's for the most part all I've ever had a problem with. Having extra help with this, having extra help with it comes sorry, I am not a fucking fantastic reader. Having extra help when it comes to statistical updates like those on the website is probably a good thing. Find someone with a lot of time on their hands that you think you can trust. So that's that one. And I think everybody would probably agree that definitely, like, profiles being updated is something that would be good. I think everybody can agree on that one.
Yeah, and it's one-man operation, so it's feasible as to why it's not happening.
And I went into a very long discussion just on that topic, just plugging it again, on the Patreon video I released, where I went through every one of these. I went into a very long discussion, just myself, obviously, about that, about who I can trust and why I haven't brought people on, or why I haven't done this, why I haven't done that. Just a quick little summary. There are very few people that I do trust with handling the website, and I admit I am super protective of it. I care deeply about the JRPL. I care quite a bit about it. I don't know if you've noticed that or not. It's not necessarily that you're a bad person if I don't trust you. I don't think that. It's just there's not many I do trust. The people I do trust, I definitely named on there. Is definitely Scott, Lee, a couple other people. There's more that it's building. Mainly Scott and Lee, by the way, which makes sense because I've known them longer than everybody else.
We're Canadian, so
that too. That helps. And I haven't offered you guys to to help out. I don't even know if you would want to, or if you would know how to do web work or anything like that. It's just, I just haven't, reached out for help. And I know it would help to get everything updated as soon as possible. And trust me, whenever a show takes place, whenever, like Extreme Rules, for example, I think about getting the results out, getting the website updated, getting the statistics out every, I wouldn't say second of the day or minute of the day, but all the time until it's done. I don't
Dude,
I think about, I do. That's just the way I am.
After every show.
Yeah.
And then it's the next day, and it's toward the end of the day. I'm like, man, I'm jonesing for those results.
Yeah.
It is 24 hours later. I'm like, man, I can't wait for them. And I'm saying that.
Yep.
And I get it, because you see people in there like, oh, is Bomber posted results yet? I'm like, he's probably watching the show. Give him a minute.
Yeah,
it just happened. He's got to do math on 60 things. Hold on.
Oh man, back in the day, by the way, I'm so glad that I do the automation results now. As far as there still can be issues. There are manual issues that I can mess up, and I have before, and I'm trying to do better on that. But I used to add up every single person's points by hand. Everybody. I'm talking about for over a year. I did that on every show. It was
it's
exhausting.
But it's a matter of delegation, and I get it. And it's your baby. Like, I would never trust anybody to do anything on my GPC site. Not that I know that you... I don't... It's not that I know that you couldn't do it, because I absolutely know that you could. But would it be the way I want it? There's a possessiveness over your baby. And anybody who's not done that might not get that. And that might be a weird creative thing that us being film and broadcast people, we're weird like that.
I'm very particular. Even when a lot of people who do the write-up stuff, I will go in there and tweak stuff to, nothing important. I won't even change wording. I've probably done on some of your stuff, not all your stuff, but I will go in there and tweak things to. I'm picky about stuff. Just
formatting.
Formatting. Yes. For example, I don't even know why I do it. I don't know why I do it. Whenever I reference somebody's finisher, I always put it in quotes. I don't know why.
I started doing that because that's how yours are. So
I have to do it to make it just in my mind. It clicks. This makes it, it doesn't, there's no reason for it to be in quotes, but to me, it makes it, hey, he's doing the, dirty deeds, in
but
quotes.
But that's how it is. So that's how I'm going to do it, to give it to you to do it. That's just how it is.
Yeah. And when people give me stuff, I will go in there and I'll tweak stuff just because I would just say the main way to say it is I'm just anal about it. It's just a weird tick for me. I'm very an organized person.
Every write-up you got from me had the double space after a period. I took those out because you didn't use that, but that's how I do it. That's just the nature of how things are.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I honestly think with that, it's a matter of delegation. It's a matter of who can you trust. But you're at the point now where it's like, well, I can trust these people with it, but I'm not ready to. Is more what it might be. It's like,
Sure. It's also, I even brought up in that other video, I even branched into, you know, moderation on the Discord server. I even went into that and like why certain people aren't mods or why people were mods and are no longer mods. Like I went into, I gave a, you know, a vivid or a word for word basically explanation of why I'm not trying to call anybody out or do anything, but like why Spring Tigers used to be a mod and why she's no longer a mod and stuff like that. I went into detail on those kind of things, and there's reasons. I don't just do things to do things. I don't just not. I don't just not have people work on the site because I don't want them to. There's just reasons. It may be just, you know, trust issues on my part, but I would hate if I would be so, I don't know, destroyed if I had somebody. We'll say Scott, this guy named Scott. Say Scott is, you know, updating profiles or something. I got him updating profiles, right? And all of a sudden, I say something on Discord that rubs this Scott guy the wrong way, and I come to update the website one day, and everything's gone. You know? I mean, that I just have, you know,
that's
issues
the extreme, but that could happen.
Of course, it's extreme.
The flip side I see of it, and this is from, again, the creative aspect of it, of being a director and editor, is you've got someone updating the profiles, and they're doing this stuff, and that person mixes something up, innocently or even like completely wrong.
Yep.
They'll be like, oh man, Bomber's fucked up the site again. They don't know who did it. They just say it's you because it's your site.
Yeah.
And it all falls to you. And you're like, what are you talking about? And now you've got to double check everything. And now you're doing it anyway. So why delegate?
You know what?
That's an endless cycle, a vicious cycle.
You just did
I've dealt with. That's a film thing.
Boom! You just said it right there. If somebody was doing profiles, I would still, with my nature, I wouldn't just trust the person to get it right. I'm not saying they would get it wrong, or I don't think everybody's the fuck up. It's just my nature. I would go back and check every little thing this person did, and at that point, why don't I just fucking do it anyway? You know?
Consider this. At work we do these different reports and stuff where I work. I'm in the collection side of something, and what is involved is running a report for a certain period. I always run it for an extra week back to make sure that everything that was on the prior report was there, because I'm looking at the same period again, and then I move forward. If someone else did it in between me and that one, I'll go back to my own to make sure everything that they needed to have in there should have been there. I shouldn't have to do that. But I do. Because it's on me if something got missed. That's me. Yeah. They missed it and they'll get their own thing, but I didn't catch it in my thing. It's a weird mentality that I am with you 100%, more so than we both of us should. Yeah. Where if it's being delegated, it's because I can trust them to do it 100% instead of me. Yep. And I don't know if I trust anybody. No one can ever edit for me, as far as I'm concerned, because you won't get the timing like I would. You won't have the pacing like I would. And even if I watch it, I might tweak it and something. Why don't I just do it myself? It's that kind of thing. It's a weird possessiveness that creative types have. I know how pretentious that sounds.
And even
but it is a thing where it's like I loved the write-ups that you did. I look forward to them so much. It was one of my favorite things to see the cool stuff I do. I write them now. Like it's not that I don't trust it, but I can take care of that. When the write-up comes out, I don't get to look and go, "Oh, this is cool. Look at the stuff happening to me." No, I know what happens,
and that helps me too.
I'm doing it. I know what's up. But I feel like I can let Bomber do the write-up. Yeah, but he might not get this cool character tick that I'm working on. That's the same level of a trust thing. I know you would, but I'll just do it myself. Yeah. So yeah, no one should take it personally that they're being left out of that kind of stuff. But just think that Bomber probably wouldn't trust you with anything like that, simply for that reason of the weird mentality of, well, I can just do it myself though, and then it'll be the way I want. Yeah. And that's a weird manic thing that people have that I agree with.
And I will say, it doesn't make me mad, but it comes close to driving me nuts when constantly people are just on the site. Well, just have somebody else, just have people work on the site for it. Well, I'll just people work on the site and get it done. And it's like,
not data entry. It's not data entry.
Exactly. It's like, it's not that easy.
You know what the easy thing to fuck up is? Data entry.
Yeah.
If that's all it was, and you put in 51 instead of 15, you fuck everything up.
Mm-hmm.
And you had one job, and people go, "Oh God, Bomber, fix that."
Yeah.
What he's got now is, oh, if that one was wrong,
And I'm
what
not.
else is?
I'm also not saying I'm
and
perfect.
you lose
by the way.
all your time.
I'm
So-
also not saying I'm perfect, by the way. I'm
Well, you get
also
it wrong
make.
too,
I
but,
also
yeah.
make fucking mistakes. I've made some, some mistakes from time to
Yeah.
time, and that happens. And I thank people for saying, "Hey, this needs to be fixed. Can you fix this?" Now, when you say it in a nice way, that's cool. When you come, I've had people come up to me like, "Yo, what are you doing? This needs to be fixed now." Like, I've had people come up to me and say that stuff, and I'm like, "Dude, first of all, check your damn tone." And it'll be amazing the way people come to me and expect certain things. By the way,
and
yeah,
think of that. That's how people are reacting. They're not going to also pay you.
Oh, okay. Now you're getting
Right?
me hot. Now you're getting me heated.
No, but that's
true.
the same combination. That's if people have that mentality. Oh,
I get, and the people that have done that, they have not. Well, right now there's only 3 people supporting on like money wise, but
yeah. And I'm not
they
shitting
are
on
not.
them either.
They are not
but
one of those people. I'll say that.
Now, if they were paying,
Different.
they could have a
And
little
guess
bit
what?
of expectation.
Guess
on
what,
that.
guys? Guess what? There's a tier. I don't want to be like, hey, you need to reach this tier in order to get this done. But there's a tier on the Patreon where you are up to the front of the line. You get your shit updated right away before anything else happens. And guess what? There's only one person on that right now, and that is Redhead. And guess what? Redhead is the only person right now in the JRPL with their profile updated, because I still make sure that's updated because they are one of the supporter. The supporter that hit that tier.
Yeah.
It gets updated every single time. So
no, that's not a pay to get a feature you should have.
yeah, it's a
That's
benefit.
simply a case of, you know what? Right now, updating profiles is not a priority. People want it to be. Well, we got to find a way.
Sure.
In the meantime, if you throw a couple bucks at it, I can make yours be a priority because
Exactly.
you're literally spotting me the time to do it.
100
Yeah, all right.
100% correct there. 100%
Now, is there a
correct.
way around that to get people that you trust eventually on it? It's only been 2.5 years. No. But is there other ways to go about it? Maybe we'll figure. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's a case of, I know a lot of people are tracking the events in Excel and stuff like that during the stuff. At the same time, I've literally had CT and I go back and forth where he gave me the wrong results at the end.
Sure.
I'm like, that's not what it was. I'm like, well, I can't trust him with it because the numbers might be off.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing, I literally had Bear Me with the wrong pick with Cage and Elgin, so I fucked up. So, like, it happens.
Oh, it
It's
definitely
gonna
does. And
happen.
sometimes I even mess those up, and I have people that thankfully help me out with that and point it out.
That happened with the match I had before that, where you didn't count the bonuses for one of us. It was like, oh yeah, gotta add in those two.
No, exactly.
With I think it was the match with Tom, there was a bonus. It didn't matter for the outcome, but
Yeah.
it was like, hey, 2 points.
Because everything's automation. Like if somebody is in a standard match with no hardcore steps, nothing special, they should get their points correct every time. The way I have it set up, it's automated through Excel. Like I read some stuff and I had somebody help me out at work figure out how to like do formulas and like completely code stuff to do an automation thing, and those are correct. But every match, any hardcore match, any match with stipulations where it modifies points, I have to manually still tweak things. For example, if somebody gets a match wrong in a hardcore match, they lose points. If I put in, they'll automatically get a 0 on the spreadsheet. I have to go in there, see what they picked, and still put -5 or whatever, how many points they put on it. That part is still manual, so there's still room for error, but it still saves me a million hours doing it that way than the way I used to do it. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. The last one I want to point out, the very last one, it is somebody said, Bomber shocking and quite frankly criminal mistreating of LJ. So I just want to point that one out. So
See, that guy's in on the story.
Exactly.
That's good.
So that's
And
good.
I hope that was LJ.
oh, it's gotta
honestly.
be. It's gotta be. Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's great.
I hope this isn't going too long for you. Just give me a time frame on. If we're going too long, let me know. I'm just going to try to quickly go through these last couple things here.
Yeah, I think honestly we've got maybe a half hour.
Okay.
We're coming up at midnight, eh? So,
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
but I can keep going for that at least. Yeah, it's no problem.
All right. In the next question, in the future, what would you like to see of the JRPL? Now, this was an open-ended question, but I threw in parentheses some ideas just so, give people, something to say. I put more titles, more companies covered, more matches, more site features. It could be anything. Please let me know. I just threw those out there for, ideas. And funny enough, most of these ideas were just the exact things I listed. So, somebody said UFC covered, which was very interesting. I don't think we will ever cover the UFC. Not like that I dislike the UFC. I do like the UFC, but that's obviously just not our thing.
That's like saying we should include baseball.
Exactly. It's a different sport.
I get it, but no.
Yeah. I will say this. There was, I don't know the exact number, but there was several people, I'm going to say over 5 or 6, that said they wanted New Japan Pro Wrestling covered.
Yeah, I know a lot of people want that.
Well,
5 or 6. So
yeah, after looking at this, it might have been more. It might have been more than that. Actually, I'm not 100% sure, but it is clear to me that people actually want to do New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I didn't really have any plans on doing New Japan Pro Wrestling. But a lot of people are wanting it. So I will say this: I am considering it. It would not be a lot of shows. I will say that it would. I think New Japan only does 2 or 3 pay-per-views or something a year.
And I was gonna say that's the key part of it. It wouldn't be like, oh, we're doing the G1 this and this and this and
yes.
3 nights pay-per-view. It's the same as Ring of Honor, same as AEW.
Correct.
It's the full pay-per-views. It's not Impact's monthly things or Fyter Fest. It's the legit full-fledged pay-per-view.
Yes.
Which they haven't done one since G1 Supercard, I think.
I think so.
Or they might have had, unless Dominion was one. I forget.
I only know. I'm not too familiar with New Japan. I only know of Wrestle Kingdom and Dominion. Those are like the only 2 shows, pay-per-views that I know of.
So, we would check that and verify.
Yeah, exactly. That's just uneducated comment there for me. But I will say I'm considering it, and if it's only 2 shows a year, I don't think, as long as it's a house show, it may end up being covered. I will say that. Again, I didn't. What's up?
I would think it'd have to be a house show.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it would definitely be a house show. Yes. I don't think I don't think it would be a very big turnout. So I want to point that out. I don't think a lot of people will, show up for that, and that's just something that I think it's one of the lower, even less than Impact. I think there'd be less interest in New Japan than Impact, but we may try it in the future. I will say that. But that also means I'd have to go on because I'm so anal. There would be on the stats page, you got the WWE, NXT, Ring of Honor, Impact, AEW, and then there would have to be a New Japan one. So it would affect a lot of things. That's also why it has not came up. So, but I am considering it, and we will discuss it further on Discord and stuff. So I will say that. Some of the other things that were mentioned, JRPL brand split.
I was going to say that one. I know people want that, yeah.
Yep. Since the roster keeps growing, not everyone has a chance to take the spotlight. I do agree with that. I understand that some people can't quite get the spotlight, but we already kind of discussed it. If you're not winning, if you don't have a lot of stuff going on, it's hard to, get that spotlight. Now,
can I say something about that?
Sure.
If we have all our shows have a main card of 10 matches, but you want a brand split so that, all the WWE ones have these guys and all the, what would it be, Ring of Honor? Or was it how would you split it, to be fair? I don't even know. But you had, say, the Ring of Honor ones have 10 main card matches. That's still literally Bomber, one guy doing it all. It's not like there's 2 people running it now to have 2 brands. It's one person running the brands, and might even get less focus because of the weird split to have to cover them.
We did discuss this a long time ago, I believe, about brand splits, and I still stand by. There will be a brand split if we get to 100 average members on a show. Mm-hmm. Not saying first ever or whatever.
And And remember this moment, because the moment you go out there and say we got 101, people are like, oh, it's time for a brilliant split. It's gonna happen.
Exactly. And I also said that I would bring on somebody else to be a general manager, basically another person to run the other brand. I
laugh because I know someone threw my name for that.
There was, your name was thrown in there. Woody's name was thrown in there, and then a lot of people disagreed with Woody's name being thrown in there. But it will, if we do get up to that number, which I hope we do. I know that makes a lot of extra work. I know the challenges that brings forth.
But it's worth it because of the growth.
Yes,
to foster it. Yeah,
and that's the thing. Also, we'll get to that later on. More titles is another one that somebody said. Last time, I don't know exactly who this was, but this person said, last time I mentioned more interactions with fans, and you have delivered. Woody's own show, even though Woody's not on it right now. Maybe a special guest from the roster every once in a while. That would be, Woody's call. I know he's not as vocal on the show. I think that's evident. We know that he's still getting used to, being a host and stuff.
Yeah. We've been open to that as long as they have a good mic.
Yeah,
I think that was Woody who said that.
There's definitely
we're open to that. Problem is, we're so infrequent, we don't have time for guest stuff right now, which has been the case for like a year. If this was like a weekly or bi-weekly, obviously we'd be able to be like, all right, so this week is literally nothing new from last week because there's been no show yet. SummerSlam's 2 weeks away. Bearmy's on. Like that's that's the environment for that. I don't think we're there yet, but that's just a matter of growth and people liking this to make it happen, which I'm all for. That'd be cool.
I agree. I would love to have somebody on. I just like you said though, to me, a good mic or a good enough mic is my main pet peeve, or main requirement, I should say. Bad mics.
Pet peeve work.
Yeah, bad
really
mics drive me nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of these are more companies. One person even went through and named like 20 different companies that they want to see covered. So let's not quite go that far with it. Literally the AAA, Evolve, PWG, CZW, they even said ICW, blah, blah, blah. They went through and went crazy. Progress.
Some of these companies don't do legit pay-per-views, so they wouldn't ever happen. That's the logistics of it. Like,
the same person. We
always get people saying, "Are we covering Fyter Fest?" No. Are we covering it? No, we're still not covering it. Like we've said this before. Like it's that again drives me a little.
Here's one that I actually thought was pretty interesting. More articles. Somebody said maybe a specific JRPL YouTube channel for people to upload their promos to. Now, that sounds more interesting. I don't know if I know there's not too many people that do promos right now. I know you're one of them. I don't know if that would be, since you are one of those people, would that be something that you would be into, or do you prefer to put them on your own? Like, what is your preference?
Well, I was gonna actually just say the article thing real quick because that's been something that we've had going. It just never. It's got to be more consistent. There's been people doing it. I wrote one for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
We had the competition for a writer, and it's kind of not happened. So if people are writing, we can make them happen. It's when people say I want more articles, you're just saying Bomber write more things.
That's exactly
Bomber's good at writing things, and it's fun when he writes the things. But you've got to realize that if you want him to update the stats page, it means he's not writing the things. So there's that. But if you're able to get in there and help out or have people write articles, cool. That's that part. I just want to throw that out there.
Oh, guys, yeah. Oh, sorry. I'll let you finish.
It's just the logistics of it. But for the video thing, the funniest, the best, the awesomest thing was the Midnight Rider promos going up on the Job Radio podcast because nobody knew who they really were. It wasn't going from Lee's. It wasn't going from mine. It was on Job Radio. People thought it was A3K because that was Matt's friend from Reckless Eating.
Did they? I didn't hear that one. That's nice.
Yeah, people were thinking that because they didn't know. So if it's just from a whatever channel, that's kind of fun. Who knows who it's from? That's interesting. I like that. I like mine being mine because, that fits my character even is my background for that. But if I were to do a thing where I left for whatever reason and tried to come back and did things like Lee, well, it wouldn't work if it's from my YouTube channel.
True, yeah.
But what I would do is give it to Bomber and tell him to upload it. So that's like, yeah. So I don't know if you wanted to have a dedicated channel or just have an unlisted thing. Probably a dedicated channel would be the way to go because you wouldn't want to clog the JRPL,
Correct.
the main Java radio. But
Yes, I actually brought this up on the Patreon video, but as much as I loved Lee's stuff was very good. His Midnight Rider stuff was fantastic. But honestly, looking at the the analytics and stuff on the Java Radio channel, as much as I like that stuff, unfortunately, people did not. And and whenever he would upload a video, we would lose subscribers and stuff like that. That stuff was happening. Now, I loved it so much. I really did. So I didn't say anything. But like, I think that if there maybe was a dedicated channel just for that stuff, because people come to our YouTube channel for, our podcast, our best in the business and stuff. So when all of a sudden you have something so abstract that they don't really know what it is, I can see people like, well, I don't know what this is. And it doesn't mean it was bad. It's just, they just don't know. And they're
that's
like,
not why they're here.
Exactly.
Can I try to go a full circle here?
Sure.
And relate that moment of people seeing this and not understanding it and leaving the channel to being what I was talking about the weird kayfabe story where people didn't know that you weren't into TOD. Can you see? That's the parallel I was trying to make.
I guess
in its own weird way. That's kind of what that was. Because people are coming here for a certain product podcast and getting something else going, what the fuck is this? Well, they're not in on it. They don't know. And they leave. That's the mentality I had talking earlier about the whole TOD thing. Anyway, I think a dedicated channel would be good for that, because we wouldn't be spiking what we're doing with this. And Matt Zion talked about that because this is we're getting into the YouTube business part of it.
Yeah,
where I had my own GPC videos with my movie reviews, but then I also did a weekly thing about the box office, and those clogged the channel and like a dozen people watched it compared to the rest, and it just tanked everything because that was the most common thing that screwed it all up.
Yep.
That you don't want that ruins the business part. That makes sense to pull it out and put it on its own thing where it'll live there and be happy there and not affect the main channel.
Yes, and I will say I felt bad because I really liked what we were seeing. Like, I really liked the job that he was doing. But even WoodYaTalk, even this gets very few like views in, the retention rate, and people compared to our other stuff, it's just exactly what you said. People don't really want to hear about our Prediction League stuff when they're coming for listen to wrestling, real wrestling content.
Yeah.
So if that other channel did exist, maybe it would be good to, like, maybe WoodYaTalk would go over to that. Maybe that kind of thing would be good to do a JRPL.
There is admittedly a bit of danger of making too many channels as well. But then again, if you've got people who want this content or want that content and subscribe to this or that or both, cool.
Sure. Yeah. And honestly, I wouldn't even like, I don't think we would even monetize any of that. We would just let it just be its own, just for fun, the JRPL thing, and just be its own thing. If that were to be the case.
If Lee does more videos, they won't be monetizable anyway. So
you got that right. Oh, anyway, his were all copyright stuff because he had the song in there anyway. So none of that was monetized. So that's fine anyway. But anyway, that is a good suggestion. I don't know who submitted that, but that's the only one I saw for that. So very interesting idea. Just
absolutely.
A couple other things real quick on this one. Somebody said maybe a new tournament or two. I don't know. Do you have any quick answer on that or anything?
No, because the ones we have, I think you've structured them where the tag tournament, it just goes quick, but the TOD is the summer.
Yeah.
There's no reason for a fall tournament because our history now is Survivor Series is a big deal.
Yeah.
You don't want a tournament going around at the same time. So
yes,
I think they're structured in good times to make things big and make things matter. A third tournament, although fun, I don't know what it would be. And it would, if there's no reason to have it, it shouldn't probably be there. So, like, what would the tournament even be?
Exactly. Yeah.
Aside from we want a third tournament, well, that's not a reason.
I will say this: I don't see there ever being a another like annual tournament, like every year tournament. There may be tournaments that come up in the future that are like kind of one-offs. I definitely believe that would be a case, but I don't think we would ever. I don't want to say we would never do it because there's always a chance, you never know. But I don't envision. What's up?
I'll just say we had Survivor Series talk today because you mentioned what is Survivor Series going to be like this year, and people were throwing ideas out there for like 5 champions versus 5 contenders and this and this. It's like just throwing out crazy ideas that are just like, what if we did this? And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense from any booking standpoint. Why would that even be a thing? And I'm not shitting on it, but it's like, oh, that doesn't make any sense.
And
that'd be a neat match to see, but oh my god, like the road to get there, I don't even know how to start that.
Yeah.
And that's just, it would be neat to have this versus that. That's not a reason though. But if it's a matter of like the war and we got 15 versus 15, or just the guys versus the girls like the first year, if there's like things here and there, a little bit of a hook, okay. But I am okay. Anybody listening, forgive me, but sometimes the ideas I shake my head at, and I say as much, but I'm like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. For a lot of these ones where it's just like, I'll do this and this. Why though? It'd be neat, but you're the ones complaining about this booking, and you're doing booking that doesn't work at all. To me, and that's just, again, that's a matter of opinion and 30 people not getting along. Or agreeing. So some of the stuff comes up and I'm like, why would that be a thing? And plus, that idea might fly in the face of existing ideas, because like I said, I'm already thinking about Survivor Series myself. We're doing this. Well, I don't fit into that, but I want to be okay, so how do I get part of that? And so yeah. It's an interesting thing. I don't know. It's I'm all for the creativity. I will never shy away from people throwing ideas out there, but people have to be able to take the fact that people might not like their ideas.
Yeah.
Like not everything is going to be good. So
my favorite just to finish up this question here. One of the things that I wrote in there is like more titles, more companies covered, more match types, more site features. It could be anything, right? And I love whoever wrote this response, more site features. Like I like, okay, like perfect.
Oh, that's great.
Perfect.
I wonder, did I write that?
I hope so.
I could see myself saying that.
It's
because
like,
maybe things like I know you've got the profiles with the hyperlinks and shit like that, and it's cool. I don't know, more stuff. Like what? I don't know, but more.
And that's the thing. That all boils down to I don't want to, Patreon or supporting, like money. Like if there was more incentive for me to spend more time than I already spend a lot of fucking time on the JRPL right now. But if there was an incentive to, not worry so much about, my second YouTube channel, or worry about getting this done, or, hey, I want to go play this game right now. I want to take a break and go play this video game. Well, nope, these people are paying. I need to get this done. See, if there was more incentive to do these things, more site features, profiles and stuff like that, things would be better. As far as, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not people, because I know people are going to be like, I shouldn't have to pay for the things that you'd give me anyway. No, what these ones are.
That's a weird take.
Well, no, but that's, I know some people might think that, but the mentality of it is that people definitively want these things and are willing to pay for them to ensure that hey, I value that content right there. I want to see these site features. I want to see these things over here. I want to make sure that happens. Because otherwise, I played with ideas of a quarterly video during one of my things, but I'm like, I have no way to judge that people actually want that. Maybe I'll make it be a goal on a Patreon. And if we hit it, that means people absolutely do want to see this. Or even if they're not committing to it, the tier is at a point where we hit it, I can accommodate that based on what I'm allotted. Because I hate to say it, people, but it is a bit of a job too. It's a hobby, but it's a job.
Yes.
Because you're timing it.
Yes.
Bomber's one guy, and he's not delegating.
And
so
this
you got to take that into consideration.
This is 100% takes the majority of my time in my life. It has since the beginning. Even when I had a 40-hour a week job, and and I worked overtime often, and I worked stupid hours. People know I went to work at 3 a.m. and I got off at noon. I would have to go to bed at stupid hours. JRPL was always, took the most time out of everything, work wise, hobby wise, that I did, more than playing video games, more than, doing that stuff. And I don't want to make it sound like I don't love, thoroughly love it,
Look at it this way. The people that miss Matt Zion being on Jabba Radio, yeah, he doesn't do the wrestling as much anymore, but he also is dedicated to streaming and stuff like that because that pays the bills. And that literally has a guaranteed audience that is there, and they're chipping in with Twitch donations and money. So he's going to support that audience because it's confirmed there. That's how it's going to be. If the Patreon goal hit a certain level, it's confirmed there.
Yeah.
It shows that it's valued for that, and you're going to get that content because you're saying, I want it.
Correct. And right now, obviously, JRPL is not even coming close to my other YouTube, not even wrestling related, has the most subscribers, the most traction, the most views on my content. My other YouTube channel is reaching more people and earning, it's not a lot of money, but earning more money than all of the wrestling stuff that we do with Jabba Radio and stuff. So I feel each day I'm working on this stuff because everybody knows currently, this is what I do. I'm still looking for a job and waiting for something to open up here in Norfolk, but it's not yet. So I am working a lot on the JRPL. And as I'm working on the JRPL, I'm constantly thinking I should be working on another video for my other YouTube channel. And when I'm doing that, when I'm working on the other video for the YouTube channel, I'm like, man, so many people are waiting to see, waiting to get their profile updated or waiting to get this updated on the site. So I'm constantly battling this stuff, but there's no incentive right now. There's hardly any, I should say, incentive.
There's incentive to get, I got to make sure Redheads is.
Yeah. And I get his done 100%.
Right?
100%.
But that's what I mean.
Yes.
People are like, you got to update the profiles. He's got to get the write-up first and then do this, also that job, and then get to these profiles.
Yes.
But but 3 people are paying for the profiles, hey, you know what? I'm going to hit yours because you threw me $5.
And that's why a lot of the stuff hasn't been updated since Rebellion. A lot of people's profiles haven't been updated since Rebellion, which is a long time ago. It was by April, I think. So they're behind. They're super behind. And I think about it like there's not a day goes by that I don't think about the profiles being updated. Trust me.
Even that's just a matter of going through and it's a 1-by-1, right? Like
yes.
You got to go in, make sure you got the achievement pictures and the stats and the titles. Like my Road Warrior title, win and loss, is not on there yet.
Yep.
Slammiversary is the last that's on there, I think. But I'm like, realistically, yeah, you'll get to it. Yeah, because when you do, you'll do all of it up to now.
Yes.
Like but to do mine, you got to go through and verify everything for 3 different events with different things and achievements and this and that. And then you go and do Tom's. And then you go and do Lee's. And then, but was he at that event? I got no score. Was he at and you got to double check.
You know what?
For how many people? It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this one day. I'm going to stream. I don't know how many people probably won't give a shit about it, but if you do, I'm going to stream me updating a profile one day or several or whatever, just so you see how much goes into updating a profile. And you know what? I'm going to stream that on Twitch one night or one day. So you people can see the work that goes into it. If you care, some people don't. They just want their shit done. Some people just want it done. Like, I don't care. Just get it done now. Like some people are like that. It's like, okay, you're cool. But yeah, so I don't know where we got lost, but the last comment I'm going to read about that question is Lee should be given special treatment. So there you go. There you go. A lot of it was just more matches covered, or more match tips and more companies, and a lot of more titles was most of the comments. So
so many people want the Canadian title to be official.
Yeah.
My God, I don't even want that, but so many people.
Yep. So let's go into the final. This is the final. Oh wait, this is the very final one. Yeah, I see what time it is. This is the final question. Feel free for any feedback that isn't covered, AMA style, kind of like this was just an open, open floor. Tell me anything that you want, to say. There was a lot of nothing. NA. Dash.
I want to say I put something like "keep being awesome" or something. That's
keep up the good work is one. Maybe that one's yours.
Hey, that might be it. That might be right there.
And there was a lot of some people loving it. Smiley face. Lee is
That
awesome.
might have been it too.
Lee is awesome. Push Lee is one of them. Bomber rules. That is all. I mean, and those, those are fun. One person says, I love predicting the JRPL. It is a big part of what keeps my passion for watching wrestling alive. And you have
That's
my
cool.
thanks. And
That's cool.
you know what? That feels super good. That, you know what? I'm really glad that person gets, that much enjoyment out of it. And then you got stuff. Baron Corbin sucks. Was one of them. And then, so it's been great. None, great stuff like that. So now I'll read the, some of the other ones that are more lengthy here. Be more engaging with people about their characters. If you have an idea, this is exactly what Scott was going to say in a minute. This might
Is this what I wrote? This might be it. Oh my god.
This might be. It's a little longer though.
It's been a while, so.
Be more engaging with people about their characters. If you have an idea for their character, pitch it to them and get their permission before doing it. This is probably yours. After all, these are our characters, and sometimes we have to completely alter them due to a change in the write-up that we didn't expect.
That I don't remember that part.
No. Well, I mean, either way, I do agree.
But that sure sounds like me, because I said that like an hour ago.
And I have, ever since I've got like this response and I've got these responses, I have reached out to more people. In some cases, like the Hawk and Jace that we just talked about, I purposely did not go out, and I wanted that to be more of a mystery type deal. But for stuff that isn't, supposed to be a mystery, I've reached out to some people for Survivor Series already. I've reached out to some people like pitching ideas. Oh, excuse me. And I've got, good back and forth going. Some stuff was very confusing. Like, I reached out to some people and I was met with, well, I don't like that idea or something like that. And I'm like, well, I'm just throwing this out there to see if you like. I'm not saying, this is what you got to do. I literally was asking, and I was getting some weird feedback about some stuff. It was like, well, this is dumb. You're forcing me to do this. And I'm like, what? I'm not calling the people out, but some people are really interesting about this stuff, but I am always willing to go with somebody's plan on what they want to do as long as it makes sense. I think I've said that, and I think that's pretty transparent, been transparent for a long time. I want people to do what they want to do as long as it's not, people fighting ghosts and stuff like that, which I think was brought up at some point. Somebody wanted to do something with the ghost, and I was like, no. So, yeah, that's that question. Here's one that actually made me feel good. This is more pat on the back for me. So I'll make sure I read this one so I look good. My time here has been good. Bomber has taken care of me with match write-ups and gives me creative control. This might be you. Shit, I don't know. Me personally, I'm happy. I've noticed others aren't, and I see what they're saying. Some in here shouldn't be allowed to say certain things. Racism has no place in the JRPL, period. Me and my friends, for the most part, are having fun, not going anywhere soon. I think the racism part was, more towards Baron Ash.
The opening started me, but that last part was not me. But yeah.
So yeah. So there you go. That's one of them. One person. This is a very interesting one. I'd like more people to be in the league. It's like,
okay.
Oh, you know what? That sounds great. That's so do I. Less drama on Discord. I think we already covered that one. They said you're not the biggest issue, but just overall there is drama and dumb fighting. It's not fun. I think we're working better towards that, even since this was in May that this comment was posted. So
what amazes me though is we spent like an hour on it, and that person summed it up in one goddamn sentence.
Yep.
Fuck.
Here's one directed towards me. So this is an interesting one. Chill out a little bit. This might be you too. I don't know. These all sound like you.
No, they could, but yeah, this wasn't me. No.
We are all hanging out and doing this damn thing, and some of the people here are snarky as hell, but we all love wrestling. Just chill out a little bit more, because we know some people are going to act like AEW is the best thing since Oxygen. So challenge people's stupid opinions, but don't go too far.
That was not me. I would not use chill out. I'd say calm down.
Yeah, this person chill out multiple times, so I guess they really
that's good though.
They really want me to chill out.
Yeah, do chill out.
Oh, this is the nicest one I think of them all right here. Well, one of the nicest. You're dope, Bomber. Thanks for being a solid booker, amazing storyteller, and a great friend. Smiley face. There you go.
Well, that's pretty great.
And I know who said it because they put their name there as well. So I will say, Tino, thank you. Thank you, Tino. I'm glad you, it's coming from him as the world champion, so I'm sure he's a little happy to know. He's happy at the moment when he wrote this, so.
Yeah.
But that is the gist of it. I think there was like one more. No, just more. They're enjoying the league. This has got to be a fake one here. Bomber has been Ultraviolet champion for far too long. I think it's time for somebody to change that, but in all seriousness, the JRPL definitely became more enjoyable / engaging once I got involved in the Discord and in some of the angles and storylines. So there you go.
Tell them that might be LJ.
Maybe it is. I think we know who this one is. More people should I think we know who wrote that.
God, I'm so mad because didn't they beat the UVC?
I think 100% did. 100% beat us at Fartbuck. Yep, 100% beat me and Bastion. Yeah, horrible. I know. So that is, the summary and the gist of the poll that was, the survey that was given out. People seem to be. Here's what the overall. If I had to sum it up in just a couple, sentences, people seem to be pretty happy with what's going on. They generally think the booking is fair. Not everybody, but they generally think it's relatively fair. And the one thing that hurts my feelings, of course, is that they're not willing to support. I'm getting the feeling that a lot of people are not willing to support, but they are enjoying their time. So to me, it's a bittersweet thing. I'm really happy that people are enjoying their time and they're having fun for the most part. But I also feel bad that they are not willing to support me and support the effort and work that gets put into the JRPL. Yeah. So how would you summarize that? That's my words on how I would summarize these results. How would you summarize the results?
Very similar. Like you said, the fair booking, and to be fair, beyond that, people who don't think it's fair might not realize that it's story.
Sure.
I can own up and involved in that a bit myself. So there could be that. So that should alleviate things. There's always going to be people who think it's not, and whatever it is. So
I understand.
That's no matter what's going to happen. Yeah. As far as for the whole Patreon thing, yeah, that's just a situation where, like, I don't know if that's intended, but that's how you're taking it. So that's not like you're not wrong for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's that might not be what's intended, but it's still happening. So yeah. It's a case where, again, like they said, the TV actors, like this is what happens with or without a Patreon. This is the product. Yeah. And we can do more things or do more things more often or these other kind of things with Patreon support. Mm-hmm. And people are like, well, there should be more of this. Well, yeah, if we support will help make that possible.
100%.
Is how that goes. Like, you just go look at Matt Zion with his Twitch stuff and his Patreon support. That makes Reckless Eating happen.
Exactly.
Like the Patreon stuff. Like, people are literally spending a certain amount on Patreon, so he'll go try out a fast food item of their choice. You can say, you got to go to KFC and get this thing. Mm-hmm. Probably he will eventually, but if you say, here's $10 or whatever the Patreon tier is,
yeah,
it's going to happen now. And if that's what this over here, you should make these things happen. I agree. Here's $5. Now I will. Now I can.
And there's a tier right now if you want us to do a best in the business episode. That's what Red hit that tier, and we did the best in the business episode that he suggested. So I mean, those things are definitely out there, but I will say, yeah, I think it definitely affects me because of how much I care about it, how much effort I put into it, and how little I feel I'm like, I feel like a dickhead saying this, but slightly embarrassed as well to say it, but this is part of the show. This is what we're about. We're about to be on it. We're about being honest and transparent. And I feel underappreciated, if that makes sense. I know it may sound corny and lame, whatever. It's honest. I feel super underappreciated when it comes to how much work I put in and the little support that I do get from from the majority of the community. And if people really can't pay $2 a month or $5 a month, that if you honestly can't throw $5 out to help out, or $10 or whatever, if you honestly can't throw that a month, I understand. If you honestly can't, and only you really know that. And if you care much about the JRPL, and I don't know, I'm just trying to state my case as far as I work really hard and I care a lot about this, and whether or not you don't think I care about everybody's enjoyment and stuff, I really do. And I really don't want to turn this into oh, please give me money, but it's also me just being honest with, look, I'm not going to give a hard ultimatum for the JRPL. I feel like that would be, lame and wrong, but I will be also brutally honest. It is getting very difficult for me to continue to want to put in the effort that I have always put in when I now have a chance for people to support and they don't want to support. Does that make sense at all?
It does. I can relate with my own video stuff where there was a certain viewership and like a certain fan base involved in it, and then when I opened up avenues to assist, nothing happened.
And that sucks, right?
Oh, it's super sucks.
Yes.
But there's a level of it where there's just certain stuff that's expected, and that's what's given out, and that's what you get. And it is legitimately depressing.
Yes.
To
100%.
have that come through. Like it's it being undervalued or devalued, yeah, that's one side of it. But it just hurts. It's like after all that, nothing. The worst, like I'll put a video out and get like no comment. It's like, well, did anybody like it? Or if you didn't, what wasn't good about it? Like, let's make this better going forward. And when you get nothing, yeah, it sucks.
I would actually want to open that up too. If you have listened this long, for people that listen this long and they're this dedicated to the JRPL, because we've talked about this for over 2 hours now, and if you listen this much and you care this much, and you're one of the people that don't want to or don't think you should, I would like you to please comment below and give me just tell me what it would almost take, or no matter what, if you just some people just decide they're just not going to support it, they don't care, and that's, I mean, I can't help that.
And I was going to say that's how some people will simply be. It's like, think of it like a free MMO. Yep. Where they're trying to get you to do microtransactions here and there and here and there. It's like, no, you've put the product out there. That's what it is. That's what I'm agreeing with, and that's all you're getting. If you can incent me into doing something else, cool. I'll put this out there too. If you put up a paywall, you'll drive them away. So there is that fine line where it's like, look, this other content is awesome. You want to get in on that too, and it's worth it. I mean. We got a couple who think that way. Do we need more of that? Maybe. I truly don't know. I'm not a good person at making Patreon. But that is the mentality where people got this for free all along. And like, oh, I want to support, I want to help out. And then don't. It's like, yeah, people talk a lot.
I've seen a lot, like back in the day, people were saying before Patreon, way before Patreon, people were saying, oh yeah, I would pay almost unlimited amounts for like JRPL merch and stuff. Like, okay, well, that's now a goal, and guess what? Not one of those people have supported. And we have one of the tiers that are on there right now to, as far as site features go, people have been wanting tag team profiles up there, and I'm like, that's a big effort to go through and start creating tag team profiles. And I put it as a goal. It is our minimal goal, which is like $100. Not saying that's a small goal, because that seems like a relatively decent amount of money. It depends who you are, I guess. But that's a goal on there where people want tag team profiles, and with the amount of work that it's going to take to get all that going and stuff, I have it a goal. on there. And when I put it up there, some people are like, oh, so that now you don't have to pay for these tag team profiles. Like, well, I mean, it doesn't really affect anything. It's more of like, you know what I mean? It's more of a feature almost. It doesn't affect the JRPL if there are no tag team profiles. But here's the bottom line. I know we're getting long. Here's the bottom line. I will never put up a paywall to be, taking part of the JRPL. There will never be a, hey, you have to pay $2 to be booked or anything. That will never, ever happen. Okay. But I will say this also. I am questioning how much time I should dedicate to the JRPL for no incentive or very little incentive. And 100%, I don't want people to think, oh, well, he's bluffing or whatnot. No, I have had discussions with Jess, several discussions on the future of the JRPL. I want the JRPL to go on forever. I never want anything to change. You know what I mean? I want to get better, of course, more people, all this kind of stuff. Better. I want the same stuff you guys want. I want the site features. I want the articles. I want profiles updated. I want all of this stuff. But there is little to no incentive for me to constantly work on this stuff with little to no income right now. And it can change if there is enough. If there is enough, it'll change. I will put the effort in. I promise you, you know how much I care about this thing for now at this point. So it will change and those things can happen. But without support for the channel, support for Java Radio, JRPL, it will not happen. And I'm not going to put a hard date on things, but I will tell you this, and I'll tell everybody else this. Things will start changing over time. If I notice there is no support coming in, things will change in the JRPL to people's. I'll tell you one of the changes right now. The only people that will see this is probably something that people aren't going to like. It doesn't affect the JRPL. It doesn't actually affect it, but it's something that people have learned to, appreciate and expect for free. That takes a lot of my time and a lot of my effort. Live results during the shows. They don't happen for every show. At this point, they happen for, I would say, 90% of the shows. The live results will only be posted in the exclusive Patreon channel that's here on Discord. Right now, only one person is in that channel. So because nobody has, hit that tier except for one person. So the live results that I post, Vitamin Yes has been posting stuff, and people are free to do whatever they want. If they want to put the effort in and do that, that's fine. And these aren't things that are going to happen immediately. I'm not going to do this right this minute. But I want you to get your feedback on this for a second after I'm done, Scott. But stuff like that, I'm going to try to, if people aren't willing to help out, I'm going to try to, not put up paywalls, but try to give these things like that we talked about, that people expect all this hard work for free. I'm going to take some of those things that take up a lot of time and a lot of effort. I'm going to take those away for free. And if they don't like it, and if they decide to leave, that is fine. I hate that. I want this to be fantastic. I want it to grow. I want it to be the best thing. It already is to me. I still, like I said, if somebody can find somebody else, some other site that provides this type of content better, please show it to me, because I will love to see it. But I don't think anybody can provide what takes place in JRPL better than what we do. So I will say that if things will change in the future, if I notice people refuse to support. And and here's the extreme case. Here's the nightmarish, scenario. I am willing to part ways with the JRPL. I don't want that. I would never ever want that. It means way too much, but I care too much about it to, half-ass it. You know what I'm saying? But I am willing to do that if people just simply don't think it's good enough. If it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know this sounds more like an ultimatum, but it's just me just being honest. I can't afford to put this much time and effort in for no incentive to do it, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm done. What do you got to say?
Well, the live scoring thing is probably the best way to look at it, where that's above and beyond what already was and was a cool thing to do, but literally is something that just happened above and beyond.
Yes.
And
it's
that
expected now. It's expected hardcore now, by the way.
And that being moved over or something else is reason to do it dedicated. Like, if there is... how to put it? There's demand for it, obviously. There's expectation for it, obviously. But it literally is detracting from the other things that you're doing. And what people are going to be like, oh, what else is he working on? Being at home with his girlfriend watching a pay-per-view. Like, it's taking time from your life.
Oh, we need to get... We talk about getting guests on here. Let's get Jess on and let her explain how, like, stressed and how hardworking I am on the days of pay-per-views. You guys, this is just stuff that people don't ever see. I am so, like, pressed for time to get everything set up for the live scoring results, and like with the deadline being an hour before the show, I would say if a pay-per-view starts at 7 and the deadline's at 5 p.m., like example, like Extreme Rules, from the moment I wake up, I am constantly getting everything tweaked and worked on so everything's ready for the show that night. The whole day is dedicated to JRPL in getting the live results ready, getting all the scoring ready, getting all the stuff ready. And she will tell you firsthand that sometimes I'm grumpy. I have to, I got to work on this. I got too much to do. I'm like stressed out because I got to do this stuff.
And the factor of that is, no, you don't.
I don't.
And people are not going to like hearing that, but you could instead just, relax and watch the show and work on it after.
Exactly.
But if you have a couple bucks here and there, incentivizing it to a tier that qualifies that happening.
Yes.
Okay. Like, cause it might be a case of like, there's the exclusive Discord channel getting the live results, but if we hit a certain tier, everybody gets it. Right? Like that you could even have.
And I'm not saying
that there's ways to explore that.
Yes.
But what I think what it is with the matter of a Patreon and spending on it is it's been this way for 2 years. I'm storing the data. 2 years.
Yep.
And it's been whatever you've done, you keep adding to it. You want to make it grow. You want to do these things.
I continually add things,
worth
by the way.
people's time.
Yes.
And for some people, their time is how they're supporting you. And that's, for some people, that should be enough. That's how they feel it's enough.
But that doesn't, yes.
They are not, well, hold on. Mm-hmm. And for them, I don't want to say that they're wrong, but it's not enough to keep it going. To have these extra things happening. If you were going to add other things that are going to be going above and beyond, that is, I feel, an absolute way to ensure driving the Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a matter of just normal support, I can go over to look at the stuff with Reckless Eating, and Matt's a friend of mine, but before I watched him for 5 years. I never donated anything to it. He puts out content, I watch it. That's the agreement, if you want to call it that. That's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I know him, I know how it all works. I'm like, oh fuck, I probably should have, but I didn't. And I want to think most of our audience is in the same boat of, you should be happy I showed up, which I know that sounds so dickish.
A lot of people
know that.
Yeah.
But some people are literally spending their time and not their money because either they don't have the money, I get that, or they're spending it on other things because they feel that's more valued. And I mean, there's no level of that sucks worse than that.
Here's the harsh reality of the worst case scenario with what you just said. I know I'm going to come off. I'll probably sound bad when I come off saying this, but it's just the reality of it. For those people who do say, you know what, for those people that have the mindset of, I'm giving you my time, that's enough for you. Unfortunately, your time isn't helping keep the show, as you said, keep running. And this is the part that's going to suck. You won't have that time anymore, if that makes sense. That it's going to go away. If
and this is good discussion too, because there's the level of it where if it was simply a matter of the results, the pages, the roster, profiles, I mean, and that stuff, like the standard stuff, not the live scoring, not the extra stuff on Discord, not the other things, just the regular, do your predictions, get the write up.
Yeah.
Predictions, write up. If that's all it is, and then you turned on, hey, you can also support us with payments, and nothing happened, I wouldn't be surprised. And that's not knocking the content, but that's like, hey, look, this is free, this is free, this is free. Hey, you want to pay me for it? I would be astonished if anyone did. And I'm not knocking that content. I'm just simply saying free content. Hey, you want to pay me? That just doesn't happen often. And that's not a knock on the job radio content. I see that with webcomics. I see that with everything.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's hard to go from it's free to, hey, you want to help out? This is a thing. Now, granted, it should statistically have some go, yeah, here, and you get a bit here and there.
I mean, that's...
You would absolutely think that out of 60 people, more than 3 would. That's where my perspective of that comes in, because you see some people read a Penny Arcade comic strip, hundreds of thousands of people read that. Not all of them are spending anything on it, right? But that's literally it. It's the I don't want to say exposure, but you get the ads, you get this and that. But
we don't get anything. I don't get...
You're right.
See, with your scenario with Zion, when you're watching those videos, those videos are monetized, and that does go to help money-wise with him.
Right.
With the JRPL, when you show up on Discord and post your pics, and you do a write-up and stuff, and like you submit that time that you're saying, yes, it is more of a hobby and stuff, but that isn't helping out the Jobber Radio Prediction League or Jobber Radio channel.
No. Well, look at it this way, though. If you didn't have the Discord active, would you do the JRPL anyway?
The Discord? I mean, we were running off...
Sorry, not the Discord. I meant the Patreon, sorry. With no Patreon, the JRPL would happen anyway, right?
It would.
And you would do what you do, and... But you wouldn't do the live scoring, because you're like, you know what, I can't afford that time. It's not worth my time.
Well,
and you would just make that decision and move on. What it is.
I did it for a long time. Here's what's going down. I did it for a long time. I think it's no secret that obviously the fact that I don't have any income at the moment, besides what little comes in here and what comes on my other YouTube channels, I'm fortunate enough to be in a scenario where Jess is providing me time to try. I am seeking out this time that I am currently unemployed to try to find other avenues of, I'm not saying, I'm going to be this great YouTube star. That's not the case, not the scenario. I am using this to pursue those. I am giving this time a chance to pursue those avenues. I am looking to try my hand in that, and I'm so thankful for her that she is, providing while I have this time to do it. And I would love, perfect scenario for me, we've already talked about worst case scenario. Perfect scenario is we get enough of a following, we get enough of support that JRPL, Jobber Radio, this stuff can, pay the bills. Everything, and I won't have to, find this other job. I won't have to worry about those other YouTube channels. I will be able to, get everybody's fucking profile. It will be the job to get all their profiles updated, create articles every day, get all these new site features, pay somebody to get a better program to get the results quicker and everything more efficient. See, that's the perfect scenario. That's what I want, but I can't do it without the support. Does that make, that's where I'm,
it makes all the sense.
Yeah.
But it's also a big ask of 60 people.
Oh, of course. And I'm not saying,
I'd say that's a big ask of 6,000.
Yes, I'm not,
that's the,
I'm not expecting a lot.
I don't want to say you're asking too much, of the audience we have,
Mm-hmm.
but it sounds like it is a little bit. It's not a bad goal to want,
Yes.
and to be realistic about it, saying, look, where we're at, this is what you guys get for free. If we can Patreon out some cool stuff, we can add those on.
I will.
It's going
Okay.
to be levels. It's going to be growth. I really, dude, I feel bad. I hate keeping to say, like, just simply having people Patreon support for the core content. I don't see it happening. Outside of
That's
those
fine.
people, there's awesome. There's cool people who want to.
And
Which,
that's fine.
unfortunately, out of 60, we got 3.
And I mean,
And I don't mean that as a knock. I just mean that as
No.
free content support.
I
Generic.
don't take it. I don't take it as a knock at all. But
Okay,
I will.
cool.
I will also though be honest and tell you and all these other. I can't. It won't continue. It won't. I'll just be blunt. It won't continue without support. I don't want to. It's just the truth. The JRPL. I don't want to. I don't want to sit here and say JRPL is gonna die and all this kind of stuff. I don't want it to, and it definitely is the worst case scenario and something I never want. But I am 100% brutally honest. I've had several discussions with Jess about this. We've talked about this for a lot. It will not survive if it doesn't get any support. And it sucks.
Yeah.
And if people say, well, you're just an asshole, whatever, I'm so sorry you feel that way, but I can't spend countless hours on this for little to nothing when I could be doing other things to get stuff, like to get like stuff that helps, like to provide for me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. It's literally not worth your time.
And
Because
as
there's
much
no
as I love it,
to make it be worth it. I get it. That's why
Yep.
I don't do the GPC videos.
Yep.
I want to say currently anymore because there's literally nothing in return. And I would spend so much time and get stressed over it and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
I instead pursue other avenues and I'm looking to ways to explore bringing it back.
Yeah.
There's just so little viewership, which means little ads, which means little income,
Yeah.
as in none. I get it. Trust me.
Oh, I know.
So the aspect of it that I'm seeing, that I'm thinking is, if it was just like the base, like it's a prediction league, here we go, here's your results, happy day, stats get updated when they do. That's what it was. So that's where people have the bare minimum. I don't want to say you shot yourself in the foot by adding so many cool things, but you made it where people are like, oh, I got to be part of that. But now they all want it for free, and they're like, well,
I will agree 100%. I have shot myself in the foot. I've constantly added new things here, there, because I think everybody, all of us, want it to grow, want it to be bigger, want it to be better, want it to have more things. But I mean, we're just going in circles here. But if there's not enough incentive, it's just not going to happen.
And I think incentive that might even turn people away. It's a matter of being worth your time, and when it's literally only time,
yeah,
that's rough. But when it's time spent for a return of Patreon dollars, you know what? That's called a wage, and yeah, people are literally spending to make sure that it's worth the time. So
yeah. And so I could be. I mean, if people out there don't think that, the JRPL is worth anything, you're more than welcome to have that. I strongly disagree, and I think, I mean, if you want to go and join other things, and I just don't think nobody is going to touch the JRPL.
I agree with that.
And like, this is a case of, I think we provide the best of this content that anybody else can right now. I'm not saying that somebody, could come down the line. They could come in with all kinds of money and start like, Yahoo fantasy football kind of deal, and, and have programmers and do all this kind of stuff. But I don't think anybody can touch what we do. And I think it's worth something. If others don't, that is more than welcome to be their opinion.
And I understand how eye-opening, regretfully, that is, if that's how people feel.
Yeah.
I get it. I know it's such a black and white thing. But I did have like the odd people say, like a couple, which is not enough to make it keep going with GPC stuff. But it was like, oh, I loved it. You should keep it going. I'm like, you literally are like, that's all I got out of it. from you, which is awesome, but that's not going to keep it going.
Yes, 100%.
I want to keep it going from that, and that's awesome and fantastic, and that's
100%.
cool. But from the person who's saying that, it's like, yeah, there's a weird level of, like, you did it anyway, so it's weird to ask me to pony up at this point.
Yep.
Which it wouldn't have made a sense to start it for a price point out of the gate, because no one would have.
No, of course not. Nobody. Yeah, nobody would have done.
No. But it's weird, like, because I get how black and white it is when you say, like, if people think it's not worth anything, and I get it, because I mean, if they're not spending $1, that is what they're saying. But I don't even think they realize they're saying that by not doing it, because they're being supportive in other ways. Which I get it. That's not going to make it continue.
Yeah.
But they're not. I mean, this is the eye opener here, hopefully for people. But it is a level of just, there's requirements to continue, and it's I don't care what, and no matter what we say in this moment, people are gonna be like, oh, he wants money to keep it going.
Yep.
Well, no, he doesn't want money to keep it going. He needs money to keep it going.
Oh yeah, it's just,
and it's not even that, because I mean, if you just want, here's your results, cool, you'll get that. No write-ups. It's a prediction league. Like, that would happen, but like you said, you don't want to do that, and you.
Yeah, I don't want to half-ass it. And one of the comments, I didn't even cover it, but one of them was, how do I know that you will, like, the people that said that they won't support or whatever, how do I know that you won't keep updating if you get a job? It's like
I understand that, but you did it when you had a job.
I did it when I did it when I had a job. I did it when I had a job, and and also exactly.
But because you're spending money on it to make sure it does happen, and that's why. Like, if he does, okay, so if people have that concern that you're going to support Bomber on Patreon, but you're worried that when he gets a job, he's going to stop doing that stuff that you're paying for, that's a violation of Patreon terms and services, and he's got a bigger problem now that you can raise. So don't worry about that. Like, that's, And you know what you can do? Stop supporting.
That's all. That's all. You can easily just stop. Yeah,
it's that easy.
That's super easy.
Yeah. No, I mean, it sucks. I don't know any other way to put it, where it's literally a case of people don't think it's worth it, because of the people that I see in, like, the Discord and that, I don't think that's the feeling.
I don't either. I feel people.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, I don't want to say that is what it is, because I don't think it's true. I mean, I don't want to say people think they have to, but it's like, I can't even find the right words for it. It's weird, because when you come down to it, it's either they're spending money or they're not. And, well, why? Some can't. Fair enough.
Yes.
Like, I understand. Like, if someone says they can't, I'm not going to question it. It's, you say you can't, fair enough, whatever.
Yeah, that's on that person.
Fine.
If they really can't.
But if people simply don't want to, here's the thing that a Bomber needs to know. Why not? And
exactly. Comment down below.
What could turn that corner?
Yeah.
Because is it a case, like, and like I said, we might be on different sides of it, where I think that the core content, I don't think people are going to pony up. I wish they would, because I think it's worth it.
I do too, but
I think they should. But there's nothing more disheartening than to put your content out there thinking it's worth something and have no one react.
The reality,
understand, and it's a stab in the heart.
And hell, the reality could be it's not. I mean,
also true.
It could
and
be.
That's kind of, I mean, here we go for the sad part. That's kind of why I stopped GPC stuff, because I'm like, okay, well, no, I feel it's worth it, but I guess not. I never found my audience.
Yeah.
If we turn that around to see the people who do enjoy it and don't do whatever, what is the incentive? What is the stuff that you want to see out of a Patreon to get this going? Because like I said, I think hoping that people would just pay for what they're already getting for free, I think that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
That's hoping for the kindness of their heart.
It is.
Out of jaded wrestling fans.
It is.
I think there's a problem there. But these people might be like, you know what? I want a best in the business. Redhead did that right away too.
Redhead
we might get some of those.
Redhead is very supportive. If there would have been a $50 tier, probably he would. And that's the thing. Even though the $20, the highest tier, people can do whatever they want. But I think he's doing it because of it was a tier. If there was a $50 tier, he's very supportive. And
Yeah.
some people have messaged me saying that they think he is like a suck up or stuff like that. I don't get where that just because somebody is willing to support something he like this dude is very into the JRPL, which is great. I love that. So am I. So are you. So is Woody. We have a podcast about it.
When we streamed these live, he was on there all the time too.
Yes,
so yeah,
exactly. And I mean, he's really into it. And I have seen some people, say, well, he's a suck up because of this and that. And that's really disheartening to see some like that attitude. But again, you can't change what people think, but that's fine. But I don't know. It's some people are willing to do it and some people aren't. And if they aren't, that is fine. But I'm also, I don't want to like make this whole thing like negative, but I just want to, I have been very transparent on these things. I just want people to know this isn't a, off the cuff idea. I've talked about this with Jess so much, because she knows how much this means to me. She knows how much I like it. She knows how much I spend time. She above all else, anyone else sees how much time I put into it. She knows how much I care about it. And for me to talk to her about, I don't know if there's no support for it, I can't continue to give countless hours towards it. And she knows that, and she's seen that side of it. So, I mean, it's not a off the cuff or random idea that I just came up with. Like, oh, I'm just going to shut it down if I can't get enough support. It's not like that. This is it's been 2.5 years. 2.5 years of my life and a lot of other people's lives. And I know it's something fun and stuff, but there's people that are in the chat every single day, several times a day, and it's weird. To me, I guess. I mean, and I know where you're coming from, and I know where other people are coming from, where to see those people that have even said that they would support things, and then when it actually comes time, they don't. And I can't do anything more than keep doing what I do, and if they do support, they do, and we'll increase stuff, we'll grow, we'll do other stuff, things will be focused on better, but if we don't, then unfortunately, it just doesn't.
Dude, you mentioned that this is something that I've had experience with as well, and again, this sounds horrible, but you'll understand it, is getting something out of it. Yeah. And like, because honestly, the content should be that. Well, they're getting that anyway. I know if it doesn't continue, then they wouldn't, so they should, whatever. The merch idea probably is something, because how many times we see these guys like dropping $20 on a wrestling shirt? Often. Like, I don't want to. That's a good point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's something I don't want to say like they need something to get out of it because they're getting JRPL content out of it. Yeah. But there's a tangibleness to it that it's like, look, you're getting something out of it. Here's a shirt. I'm throwing an 8 out there.
That's a funny thing you say that. Yeah.
Because you mentioned it briefly in the survey with merch, which is a whole different animal. I get that because I had GPC shirts too, but no one was clamoring for it. I just put it out there. Mm-hmm. Is that a case where like, okay, if we do this, is it going to be a thing? Because it's not like you need to make them and then you're stuck with them. Otherwise, you could spreadshirt it or something. There's avenues for that to get something in.
That's why it's a goal it's a goal right now. So
yeah, so there. Okay, yeah, so there are aspects of that as well. I mean, it's really a case of like people needing to speak up for what they want out of it.
Yeah, and that's what I gave the open floor for that portion. Those 2 questions on the survey about that, and unfortunately, most of the posts were just I don't have the money, and if I don't know who said what, but some of the people that said they don't have the money are some of the people that I see. I don't know who they are, but they could be some of the people that randomly post, "Hey, I bought this, and this today," and then people can spend whatever
they have the money. They're just bad with it.
Yeah, people can spend whatever they want their money on. That's obviously the case, and I don't want to dictate or pretend like I'm dictating what people should spend their money on. But I've seen plenty of people blow something on stuff all the time in the Discord, and then just throw it away in a heartbeat. And it's just, we've been doing this. We've been invested in this show for this
Just looking
product,
for
I guess.
a couple bucks.
Not even 2 to 5. Like a month is super small, I feel, compared to anything. But again, I don't want to. We're gonna need to end this because I feel like it's just us. It makes me sound like I'm begging for money, which I hate. That I just wanted to get the point out that look, I'm not changing anything immediately. Everything is going to stay the same for a while. Okay, but over time, I'm. Like even the live results thing, that's not happening anytime soon. And it may never happen if there is enough support. If people start supporting and it gets to a certain point, that won't happen. Everything will stay the same. I'm not saying that's stuff that could happen if I notice nothing's changing, things aren't working out. It's time to start getting, I don't want to say desperate measures, but it's time to start, trying things to get the ball rolling. If people aren't willing to support on their own, that kind of stuff will happen. And if stuff doesn't happen after that, that's when stuff will start, changing and getting, different in the JRPL. But for the time being, everything's, nothing's planned to change right now. Nobody needs to freak out. Nobody needs, oh my God, everything's going down. I need to go do this and that. Everything's fine. And I want everything to just get better. That's my hope. And that's why I know this is, I'm the person running it, and I'm asking for people to support me. But this is also, I hope people see this, and I hope it's not, they think, oh, he wants money for himself. I hope people see, and I can't do anything but say it, that this is investing back in the JRPL. This is investing more time to ignore the other things and more time into the JRPL to make the JRPL better. That's literally what this is for. So I hate for somebody to say, you know what, I'm not going to do that because it's him or somebody. Like if somebody doesn't like me for some reason or whatever, I'm not giving it to him because of him. I mean, if you do, you do. But I hope people don't see it that way, and I hope they see it as giving back to the community and giving back to everyone else. That's what I'm hoping people do or see it for, because that's how it is.
It's a case where you've budgeted your time, and you've worked out things that you've done. Mm-hmm. And you've added things and realized those don't fit in this time, but with financial support, they can.
100%.
That's what it is. It's not a matter of begging. It's not a matter of anything like that.
I'm just really bad.
It turns out, you know what? You bit off more than you could chew in certain aspects to do it realistically without anything compensating.
Yeah.
Which I know is not even true, but it's like, you know what? That's a lot more work that deserves more attention that I can't give it for whatever reason. And if people want to say that you're lazy about it, well, go fuck yourself.
Oh yeah. I don't think at this point
I'm with you on that. No, but I'm sure people will. People probably think it's just a matter of you type in some numbers and you make the things happen. It's all good. That's why people want drafts and more this and more that. It's like, no, it's work involved, guys, and he's already doing this.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And maybe I'm the wrong person with the GPC history that I've had about understanding how this shit can work, and to be like, yeah, no, things can go south, and you stop making the thing. I get it, but really, it's simply a matter of this is what it takes to make it happen at this level.
Yeah,
and from the base of it, you were hoping for more support, just by virtue of that.
Yeah.
And
that may be, you
which
know,
hurts, could be misguided,
and it could be,
but it still happened, and it sucks.
It could be me expecting too much, and that's on me. But
entirely possible. But then we turn that corner and go, what does it take?
Well, I mean,
what will get that incentive of people bringing it in?
Exactly. If somebody responds, and somebody might, with just, well, if you update the profiles, then I'll support money. It's like that. Like that's not.
We honestly could have literally 2 comments when this is posted right away, being like, "Of course," and like, "Oh, perfect." Like, "Oh, I'll support right now." I didn't realize. Like, "Oh, you have a Patreon?" It could be what we get too.
One of those things were. I didn't know there was
that. Yeah, like it could be a matter of that too. This is not doom and gloom. I mean,
Yeah, I know there is some negative.
It's realistic in some aspects, but yeah.
Thank you. I didn't want this to be, a negative thing, but just I wanted to also, as you said, be realistic about it and, just talk about the future and be transparent. Because I didn't want to all of a sudden just be like out of nowhere, oh, you know what? Not enough support, guys. Peace. See ya. Like, I care about it too much for that to ever happen anyway. But,
which, let's be fair, could have happened at any time. For all we know, don't bother predicting SummerSlam. It's done. Like,
yeah,
some have done that. I've seen things do that. For all you know, it's like, whatever, it's done. Yeah, there's not enough. We didn't hit 102 years. Sorry, guys. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Not that you would do that, but
yeah,
that's kind of that's what you're saying though. It's like you're not doing that.
Yeah. So there it is. I know this is a super long show. Actually, probably consistent to our other shows, to be honest with you.
It is consistent.
Yeah.
You almost might want to cut this up into multiple.
Yeah. So, I guess, guys, with that, it's time to get out of here. Hopefully Woody will be more involved on the next one. Hopefully everything went good with his twins and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But and also, in case anybody was wondering, if you do care, if things, worst case scenario happen, I will say this. The Jobber Radio, the YouTube channel, all that stuff would never go away. So, unfortunately, like I would not like if things went bad, worst case scenario, and I had to discontinue the JRPL, worst case scenario, the Discord wouldn't go away, the community, like none of that would go away. I just wouldn't be able to keep the JRPL going. We would still, hopefully, as long as you and fucking Lee and hopefully maybe Rab one day, and would still do the podcast. That'll always go on as long as you guys are willing to do it. So.
Oh, absolutely. I'm always game. That.
So that stuff would be unaffected. I'm only talking JRPL stuff, which some people, the ones listening to this, some of them only care about the JRPL. So there you go. But I just wanted to preference that and let people know that first and foremost. So.
I really kind of want to close the thought of like the people who aren't supporting in that, like, because I can't wrap my head around why people would like it. Like I said, there's a level of the free versus the paid. I do understand part of that, but okay, well, when it's kind of laid bare, what do you think now? Like, you know what? Yeah, I will throw $1 at them.
Yeah,
that's like I've lost $1 a month and whatever. So that's. And if 30 people did that, that's $30. That's not nothing.
True.
We can laugh at it all. It was $30 or whatever. Yeah, it's still that's $30. That's
that's true.
Right?
Hey, anything, and I'm not asking for everybody to throw fucking hundreds of dollars at me. I've never ever said that. Any support is super helpful. I mean, and I've been doing more of the dirt sheets and stuff, the more trying to get backstage access in JRPL, trying to spice some stuff up, and you'll see that kind of stuff if you do hit those tiers and stuff. And that's only like a 5. That's like the second tier. It's just $5, and you get that kind of stuff. So, but yeah. Anyway, go to the Discord, patreon.com/JobberRadio. I don't have to explain what the tiers are. It's all there. But we need to get the fuck out of here. It's too late, too long. Guys, yep. We'll see you on the next one again. We hope to be back before Survivor Series. So
we have to now. We got stuff we didn't talk about.
So we got a ton we didn't talk about. So
yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.